return half the number that left.
Hello, Caravan! Good to see you again. We have really good news.
Everyone died.
Oh God, not this again. No, remember we talked about this, Kevin. You can't just tell them that.
Oh, right. Have to be more somber. Everyone peacefully died.
Oh, she's such a joke.
That's the good news, is it?
No, okay. Sorry. Anyway, no one died except for a few harpies, but we were able to come to terms with them and we negotiated safe passage to get down the cliffside. So now it is in your hands, Professor Barnaby, because I'm not sure how to get down the cliffside. So we are looking forward to see what you have in store. We have successfully negotiated safe terms. Let us move forward to the cliffside and begin our descent into the underworld. Or whatever is called down there.
I think we can stop once we get to about the same level as the grasslands. We don't need to go much deeper than that, I think, Nari.
Yeah, Nari, you silly goose.
You silly cat.
Grasslands.
All right, then, so these harpies are nothing to be worried about?
Nope.
No, but we have watched this escape.
All right, then. Lead the way, Nari.
Okay, follow me and Kevin. And I lead the way to the cliffside towards
And as they are
Agramar.
gone, is there anything in particular where Fallen Agramar would like to do during their time alone with the harpies?
Keep an eye on them, make sure they're not up to any funny business. Like setting up a trap.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check for Fall.
Ooh, he's so good at that.
Might help if I have my character sheet up. Come on, roll 20. Load already. Oh, I don't know why I have disadvantage.
18 for the first.
Your exhaustion.
Oh, that's right.
While reading that big book.
That's right. We got exhaustione.
Oh, yeah. Yep, right there. One level of exhaustion.
Yep, there
14.
it is.
These creatures look incredibly hungry.
Well, I will incredibly fight them. When can you make the food, Agramar?
I already made the food. I made it before the end of last session. Feeding up to 15 harpies for the day.
Oh, this will go famously.
What?
No, nothing. It'll be fine.
Agramar would like to, while we're sitting here, look for alternate routes, maybe something that's a little bit easier, just looking along the cliffside. See if there's another path other than down the Harpy's Den.
Roll me a survival check.
Sure. Ooh. That's 23. A natural 19 on the die.
As you come over towards the cliff's edge and peer over the side, kind of looking for an alternate route down, looking over the edge of this cliffside where you're at, it seems as though the rock underneath you recesses to a point that you can't see without leaning uncomfortably too far over.
Oh, we're on an overhang.
It seems as though you can see more harpies just occasionally stirring out from this nest directly beneath from where you guys are at. and you hear lots of fluttering and flapping wings going on down there, but you can make out that the cliffside seems to continue about 50 feet down, where this almost like a cave, this den resides up towards the top of the mountain where these harpies seem to have made their nest.
This may have been a terrible mistake. Trusting harpies.
So I'll ask the owl harpy in giant, because she was speaking giant. How many of your numbers do you need to feed?
What are the limits of your conjurations?
That's a really good question. I can create, today, enough food for another 15, so 30 total.
And after that?
If I rest, I can create enough for 45.
So you can perform these miracles daily.
Yes, as long as I'm unmolested.
I see.
Have you heard of the
And to
great
the
wonders of Pharaoh? One of the great three?
No.
She is kind and she is giving.
I don't hear many stories about your people out here.
Well, she is a god. And I'm sure she would love to aid you. As long as you aid those that serve her.
In what way?
Well, if you assist us on our way down, she will grant many blessings upon your flock. As you see, I can perform food. She also has the ability to grant others powers.
Dangerous game you're playing, everyone. You're starting to sound a lot like Nori.
If you
I
could
am teaching people the
conjure
good
more
word.
of your foods, then perhaps an accord could be made. But you must remove your armor. You're going to be too difficult to lift without it.
Can I insight check her?
Sure.
Alright. 19.
She seems to be very interested in this food summoning ability of yours.
Okay.
And you catch a hint of, I guess I would phrase it as mistrust about her tenor.
Like she doesn't quite believe what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
Skeptical.
exactly.
Okay.
How rude.
Well, when my colleagues arrive, I will take off my armor and provide you with more food. I suspect that, in one way or another, I'll have to take it off anyway because I'm quite heavy. Do we have a deal?
We shall see.
Wonderful.
So long as your friends do not try attacking us when you are greater in numbers.
I would say the same for you. I think this could be quite beneficial for everyone involved.
She just kind of hisses to the air all around her, and a couple of the harpies that were hovering nearby kind of fluster her back 10 feet, give her a little bit more space. Then we wait.
He gives a nice little head nod down, a little short bow.
As his eyes droop towards the nest below.
Ooh. So that's what Agrimar's doing.
And before long, Nari and Kevin come leading the rest of the caravan a little slowly back up this path, as the horses were noticeably hesitant to approach the cliffside full of harpies.
Nari is waving. Hello, we've returned.
Oh my god.
Devin said you are dead, but you're not. Yay! You made it alive.
No, I struck a deal with the harpy lady that I would provide more food, and she would provide assistance to us if we needed it.
And she's 100% on board with this? She's not going to try to kill us, right?
It would not be wise
Right
for
now.
anyone to make hostile actions at this moment.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, hopefully no one panics.
I'm just like imagining Kevin secretly panicking inside her own brain right now.
Well, she's so
Right.
small. She can be picked up.
So what is the plan for getting down the cliffs?
Yes, I was curious to ask Professor Barnaby myself.
So one of the horse wranglers steps forward, this halfling known as Bartlett, to, I think Agrimar might be the only one who caught their names just through the going through of turning items into gold.
I got a good rapport.
But Bartlett kind of sheepishly steps forward in front of these harpies as well as the party and announces, I can see to the horses down the side of the cliff, but unfortunately I can only take the horses with myself. I know some of the other more arcanely gifted have means of lowering the wagons and some of each other, but as for the four of you, we didn't make plans in particular. As your large friend mentioned something about building bridges and the like for the whole way down.
Yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Bridge.
It's a cool ability, but I forgot it was 300 feet up, and it would take a long time to do that.
Yes, we tried telling you that.
Anyway, we might have made a bargain with the harpies in order to grant passage for the four of us down.
Professor
We
is
need to get our horses and camel. That would be really cool.
I think Bartlett was going to be able to handle that.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure because they didn't say they accommodated for us, so hopefully they still accommodated for the four horses.
Professor
and-
Barnaby steps forward. I do believe that if my count is correct, I couldn't afford one more creature along with my featherfall spell.
That would be cool. I would love to accompany you. I mean, obviously make sure the rest of my group has safe passage beforehand, but I would
Well,
so
if that's what you wish, Nari, I was offering it for your horse. But
Oh yeah, no, that's
if you
cool.
would prefer to go down by means of featherfall, then that's all right too.
Oh, that's right.
However it works out, as long as everyone gets down safely. I just got super excited there for a second. Sorry.
I look to the owl harpy and nod to assume it's a her.
It appears to be.
To them, and I'll begin taking off my armor. Rafal, if you would open up the hole so I could put this armor in there. I'm unfortunately too heavy for them to carry me.
I mean, maybe
Is Rafal gonna have to do the same thing?
I presume so. If you want to be carried by the harpies.
If you want to fly down, we have to drop weight.
No, I don't have another way of getting down, so... Yeah, I guess we'll put both sets of plate armor in the portable hole.
I'll keep my shield kind of strapped on a leather belt on my back and have my mace attached to my waist.
I'll keep my shield also.
But we'll put them in the hole, pack the hole up, and I look to the harpy mistress. I believe we are prepared if you are prepared.
Very well. And she just dives. And she just goes with one swoosh of her wings, vanishes from sight beneath where Agramar is standing, and vanishes into this alcove.
Okay.
Some of the people behind you in the caravan kind of shuffle a little bit, or about 4 of them start to kind of circle up and begin conjuring ritual magics as the area at their feet begins to glow this faintly light blue as they start casting these ritual spells.
Have faith in the Order of the Phoenix. We will see our way through this.
Bartlett begins going by each wagon and loosing the reins from the saddles of the horses, and just kind of disconnecting each of them one by one from the wagons, and starts to lead them just kind of slowly and calmly towards the cliff's edge. The owl harpy, a couple of flaps of her wings, returns into the line of sight with about a dozen more harpies flying behind her. Quickly swarm upwards and quickly just fill the skies above you. Roughly, at least one harpy hovers about 10-15 feet above each member of the caravan and the party, just kind of hovering above, waiting. As the owl harpy looks towards Agramar and says in Giant to you, "Tell your friends who need assistance to raise their hands. We will grab them and carry you down to the bottom."
They're going to drop us.
I feel. Oh my god.
I'm gonna go on faith on this.
Oh my god.
Nari will raise her hand.
And you can understand, Giant Mushi. I'll say, Rafal, Kevin, raise your arms, and they will pick us up and take us down. Agramar raises up his hands.
And Nari will say to the rest of the caravan, anyone who doesn't have a means of getting down, these kind harpies have offered their services.
Well,
So
I
please
think I can
raise your
survive a
hand.
fall of 30d6. We'll find out, I guess.
Well, it caps at 20, right? That's what the rule book says, right?
As long as you all land on one.
Oh my god. Ooh, god.
Rafal raises his hand high.
Take the
Harpies, take the wheel.
Fucking billowing.
Just looking majestic.
I guess Kevin's going to raise her hands as well, but she's going to turn to Agramar and say, if I die here, I swear to God, I'll haunt you in the afterlife, and I'll make it my personal goal to make sure you die of fright.
I whisper back to her. If you die and I survive, I will bring you back.
Oh, great. Yay.
It'll be a new,
Keep-
enlightening
I have to keep
experience.
living this existence? Fuck.
You will be crippled, but you will be alive. And you will be the ruler of 7 kingdoms.
Then you can kill me.
And then you can kill me. Because you're great at stories. Okay. Yeah, let's float this shit down.
Let the harpies take us away and park the caravan if they needed to raise their hand.
You see none of the other members of this caravan looking trusty towards any of these harpies. Some of them, like their hands just kind of linger towards daggers and swords and light crossbows at their hips, like very uneasy about this apparent situation that they've been led towards.
I don't blame them.
As Preston makes his way forwards and begins placing the palm of his hand upon Humphrey's forehead, and he just begins whispering an incantation.
The fuck is he doing to my camel? What's he
That's his-
doing?
You can roll an Arcana check if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. He's doing that to my camel. I don't want an angry giant against.
You don't
Ugh.
fucking touch him! She goes flying
She's
off.
supposed to be helping it down, remember? Because you said that was Bartlett, right?
No, that was Preston, right?
That was Preston Brentwood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Preston's talking to your camel.
Oh, he's cursing
yeah.
your camel, that's for sure.
I had to roll, like, for disadvantage, so I think I got
5.
5.
a 5, yeah.
Shit.
Just casting some sort of spell on your camel.
What the fuck?
As you raise your hand up for the harpies.
If he does something to my camel, I am going to kill him.
He looks up towards you on top of your camel, and he just kind of smirks calmly.
What the fuck is he
Or
doing to my
stepping
camel?
to the side and placing the palm of his hand upon Silver and muttering a similar incantation.
No. Oh my god.
Before he moves towards Agramar's horse and does the same exact thing.
That's okay.
As
Brandy
he's
will be
over-
alright.
Rafal's
Beside Agramar, you can hear him say to you, Agramar, "Are you sure we can trust them?"
There are many people that I cannot trust in this world, and unfortunately, I can trust them. That doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense in my head. The 3 say that they are worth allying with at the moment.
Maxi Biggs.
As Preston is going to continue past Agramar towards the cliff's edge and just let loose a whistle as the 3 of your horses' heads just kind of perk up immediately towards him, and all 3 just kind of simultaneously start following him as he steps off the edge of the cliff. As one by one these harpies begin just in a flutter of movement, swirling around this caravan, scooping up Agramar, Nari, Rafal, and Kevin with their arms upstretched. You feel these talons dig into your arms. Each of you are going to take not 1d63.
What?
Oh god.
That's a big damage die, Ryan.
Such a big damage die, I had to make it up.
Shit.
But looks like each of you are going to take maximum damage
Just for the
as
flesh
these
wound.
claws dig into your forearms and you are yanked up into the air. Not so delicately
Oh,
it
yeah, I had
seems-
temporary hit points.
as these claws dig into your arms and you're lifted up from your mounts as you watch each of your horses and camel just kind of trot off the side of this cliff, whereupon they immediately begin to just drift, following Preston, slowly descending down the edge of this cliffside, followed by Bartlett and a number of other horses who similarly just kind of walk off the side of this ledge and then begin to feather fall their way downwards. The horses in the second group seem to be freaking out significantly more than the first group that seemed to have been under the influences of some sort of a charm spell to help persuade them over the edge of the cliff.
Our horses have seen some shit, so they're like, whatever. Cliff? Sure.
Did Preston use suggestion?
You'd think he might have used some sort of a charming spell on your horses to get them to go over the edge. As there's a,
Bye, Brandy.
as you guys begin flapping your way down the side of this cliff, you can see just below where the harpies picked you guys up is this large, almost 80-foot wide by 50-foot tall cavern.
Oh my god.
This nest, and you can just see dozens of harpies, just kind of all sorts of movement on the inside. There look to be a number of small bones littering the inside, the occasional item and trinket scattering inside, and a couple of the cliff's walls look to be cracked and open in some spaces, revealing caverns that go further into the rock wall where these things presumably sleep and nest and reside. As they begin flying you downwards past all of this, you get to catch your first real line of sight of these grasslands before you. Towards the bottoms of these cliffs. And the colors of the grass seem to shift like that of a quilted pattern. They are all sorts of browns and greens and yellows, and closer to the cliffside, a little bit more gray and darker browns. But it seems as though the significant absence of plant life seemed to only reside on the upper heights of the plateau. Down here, everything seems to be flowing and living abundantly in nature as it might have originally have been before that the spell-scarred lands. And you guys catch sight of this, and you can see what feels like for miles over this grassland. And it's not too long before there's a couple of blue blips of light up towards the top of the cliff. As one by one, you can see more humanoids just begin to walk off the edge of this cliff and start to feather fall their way down. And about, I believe it's 30 or so feet behind each of them, this floating disc-like platform then pulls off the side of this cliff as this hovering disc containing bits of the wagon and supplies and the like follow each of them down this cliffside, drifting just as slowly as they are, as they all make their way towards the base of this cliff.
It's a really good idea. I never would have thought of that.
Wizards.
Wizards, man.
Party full of wizards. This is how they solve problems.
What do you do? Tensors float and disc that shit.
But like they were saying, they have plans for a one-way trip. So building a bridge, they were all in favor of.
Like, we're gonna die out here.
As you guys start getting lower and lower, the owl harpy that is holding on to Agrimar begins to slow her descent about 100 feet up, as the other harpies continue to lower Nari, Kevin, and Rafal lower and lower towards the ground. Agrimar, this owl harpy that is slowing her descent, leans in closer to you while flapping her wings. As she says, "Now then, perhaps we can discuss the terms that we have agreed on. You've promised to feed me and my sisters. And you say you can perform these miracles day in and day out, so long as no harm comes to you. I can happily allow your friends to proceed across the plains below. Should you wish to remain with my sisters and I, you have a place within our caverns. And I assure you, no harm will come to them so long as we remain fed. What say you, holy man?
Tempting.
Very tempting. I mean, they're all so beautiful and majestic.
Agmar living the life of the heart.
I'd require pillows. No. It's
Come on, Sanji, resist.
I understand the predicament you're in. Needing constant food. And yes, I can give it to you. But if I do not continue on my mission, the three will take my powers from me. And I will not be able to provide food for you. We did this on good faith. And if you ever need more food, all you have to do is seek me out. And I can provide it for you.
We just got a group of harpies to travel with us too.
Oh yay!
I understand your predicament. And you have my sincerest apologies as she ruffles her feathers and you feel more of this sand-like dandruff
Oh,
fall
she's
down
gonna kidnap
upon you.
Agramar.
Oh, oh no!
All right.
Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
This is a magic effect, right?
It is a poison-like effect.
Poison. All right.
He is a big man.
It's not a spell though.
For that.
The same sort of thing that you went through the night before.
Gotcha. All right. Ooh, 14?
Oh god.
DC is 15.
Ah!
Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh no!
I'll be all right.
As the rest of the party is led down and kind of dropped unceremoniously about 10 feet up from the ground. Each of you in the process of tumbling out from these talon grips plummet to the ground for about 2 points of bludgeoning damage. And those of you who would look upwards to see the progress of the caravan can see some of these wagons on these floating platforms drifting downwards and a couple of bodies slowly descending as well. But looking upwards, you can see this harpy owl with Agramar in her talons as Agramar's whole body just kind of slumps limply in her arms. As her flight path starts to move more vertically, as her descent comes to a stop about 100 feet up, and she's effectively is going to start trying to ascend with Agramar in her clutches.
Oh no. Ooh.
If there's anything anybody would like to do.
Do we have anything to break his fall if one of us hits it?
You tell me.
Oh my god.
He'll
It's
live.
happening right
He'll
now.
live. He'll live.
I'll
Are you
be
sure
alright.
that he'll live?
He'll live. Just shoot her.
Okay, I'm
Oh.
shooting her.
And all the other harpies are going to attack us.
Oh shit.
Nari says as this arrow flies through the sky, clipping the side of this owl harpy's wing, dealing 10 points of piercing damage.
Damn it,
Am
I
I
haven't had enough to
around?
drink for this shit.
I'm so sorry.
I think this is quite fitting. I'm going to die in a blaze of glory, and I have fireball whiskey. So we'll go with that.
Oh god.
And
I'm so sorry.
Damn it, Ryan! Why'd you have to make it a cliff? Why do all my characters have to die on a cliff?
You're not dead yet.
does okay, quick
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I felt the effects of this before. Was it a sleep thing?
I think only Agramar felt the effects.
I was awake when it got dusted on me, and I woke you up afterwards, after I resisted
Right, but
it.
you told me about it.
I told you
right?
about
And
it,
you
yeah.
It's
said-
a fine magical dander that floats off of her wings.
Right, but you said they tried making you fall asleep.
yeah,
right?
magical sleep
Yes.
or something. Yeah.
Okay, so
Poison-like. It's a
well, I want to
poison
try
that-
something. Rafal's gonna try just shooting a guiding bolt at Agramar.
Sure.
I shouldn't have disadvantage on attacks.
You should die.
11 plus 7, 18?
Does that hit you without your armor?
It does. 17, it's my
Agamar.
AC.
You feel this searing holy light
Ow.
burn through you for 14 radiant damage as you shoot your eyes open.
Okay.
And you hear Rafal yelling, "Wake up, you lazy ass!"
As you faintly begin to glow within this harpy's arms. And the next attack against you is going to have advantage.
Oh, no.
Oh shit! Oh no!
If
Okay.
I can't have him, no one can.
I love it.
The
I
3
ship
will
it.
protect me. I will be okay. Protect me, 3.
With that, I think everybody needs to roll some initiative.
Oh god damn it!
Oh, yes, I'm
so
excited.
Sorry.
Don't. Please. I'm excited. Oh,
It's
shit.
just
Balls.
killing me.
Fuck this die. Alright, it was rolling hot. It's rolling not now. I'm gonna switch to Arizona since I'm gonna die in the desert. Can I get a turn, please, Ryan?
So
No,
since
you may not.
whatever,
Okay.
wait, I don't have exhaustion, right?
You... No, I
I
don't
do.
think so. No. Oh, yeah, because you were up at night when Rafal and I were,
I
right?
got the book too. Do I get disadvantage on initiative then?
Straight roll
No.
with the shield.
You have a straight roll because you
I
have
got the shield. That's
that
what I was about to ask. You guys just
Wait, do I? Do I have disadvantage on initiative?
I believe so, because I think you still have a point of exhaustion.
Yes, I do. Okay. Never...
Yeah, we were all at 1, if I remember.
Oh fuck. Okay,
Oh my
I get an
God.
18.
5, which is great because I have no idea what I'm gonna do, so that's fine.
Oh, Rafal, you had a 19! Ah.
I still did well.
16, still really good.
Still did well.
I'm gonna fuck this harpy up. I'm telling you right now.
Can you survive a fall?
Fucking harpies.
I can.
Okay.
You can't?
No, of
Agamar.
course I can.
Oh god.
Agamar.
I'm going to have a talk with you about like you telling people about your powers.
Yeah, this is why you don't tell people what you can do, Agamar.
I was trying to spell the good words. Shit.
So,
Let's try to spread the good word.
I rolled
as
a
combat begins, Kevin,
Trying to
you
get
loose
acolytes,
your
y'all.
arrow through the sky, clip the wing of this harpy, but it seems to take the main force of that arrow, but not yet fall out of the sky.
Shoot it again.
Initiative
Okay,
is
yeah.
yours.
I'm gonna shoot it again. Am I
All right.
around? Am I a 13.
13 just misses.
Oh god damn.
Damn.
As
Wait,
she
forgot.
swoops.
Oh no, that's on Agamar, not the harpy.
If you want to
I
shoot
forgot.
me, kill Agamar. He's a traitor.
We'll kill him so they don't have to.
I forgot. Could I shoot twice in a turn or no? I'm looking back.
Not a rogue.
You can only shoot once.
Ah shit. Well, I am going to hide in the grass.
All right.
Ooh, you're small. You can do
You
that.
scamper into the grass and are quickly concealed.
Wait.
Stealth check with disadvantage. Not bad.
14.
Rafal.
Rafal's gonna send a 3rd level guiding bolt at the fucking harpy.
All right.
Damn.
13 just misses. As she seems to have caught on to this spell working now. She's able to just get out of the way of it. Anything else you would like to do?
It's Cape Billows.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. As some of the other harpies begin to stir about, seeing shots going upwards at the owl harpy. And 2 of them are going to just kind of make arcs downwards. The first towards Kevin, trying to scoop her back up
Ah fucking shit.
with a natural 1 and a natural 2. So I don't think that's going to cut it. as Kevin seems to be concealed well enough through that tall grass. Fucking Jesus. I fucking kid you not. The one's going for a fall. Natural 1 and a natural 2.
Wow.
Holy bejesus. Agrimar.
I'm gonna try a WWE move, and I'm gonna try to swing my legs up and try to wrap them around her wings and bring her down in a pile driver.
Sure, I'd say it'd be like a grapple check.
All right. And
you grapple her successfully, you guys fall from the sky.
That's perfect. That's what I want.
All right.
And as I do so, you see that the glowing energy that resides around an aura in Agrimar's form is focused into his legs as he tries to do a figure 4 on her wings. That is going to be a 16 plus 8, so that's
a disadvantage
24.
for your exhaustion, right?
Shit.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, that's a 15 plus 8. So
right.
that's a 23 plus my athletics. That is going to be a 32.
How do you picture this going down, Agrimar? Because she fails.
You could have been one of my acolytes. Now, feel the earth. And I just swing up, grab my legs like around her shoulders, and just clench, since I'm tall enough, like my knees go around the back of her wings and circle around her throat, and I just try to circle her down with my weight, trying to put her below me as we begin our descent.
Right. Nari.
I don't even know what to do. Oh my god.
Save yourself!
I guess we're trying to take down the harpy. Is that the plan? He's what, 100
What are you
feet?
doing, Nari?
You guys got harpies floating around you as
Flying
well.
upwards at the harpy, bolts of arcane, holy, radiant energy shooting upwards. One of them slamming into Agrimar, the other one just missing the harpy. Agrimar gripping tightly around the harpy's wings, and the two of them are falling from the sky currently. What would you like to do?
How far up is the harpy in Agrimar?
Less than 100 feet, falling fast.
I know this rule very well. 200 feet in a round.
Okay, gosh dang it. But would you say they're within 60 feet?
Yeah, very much so.
What about 30 feet?
No.
Yeah.
How about you cast a spell?
You have 6 seconds. What are you doing? Agrimar is falling off of this cliff.
Oh! I am going to... You said within 60 feet, right?
I said within 6 seconds. What are you doing?
Okay, I am going to target Agrimar with my iron flask and try and suck him into my bottle.
What?
What? Do I get a save?
Yes. If you reach
If
it.
you're from a plane of existence other than the one you're on.
So it doesn't work.
Oh, it doesn't work?
If the target is native to an existence place other than the one that you're on, the target... Yeah, it...
Agrimar, go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Sure.
Or maybe it's flask.
That is a 13.
As Agrimar's large form wrapped around the owl harpy is just sucked into this brass iron flask. It ceases to be for the time being.
So I am from another plane.
Anything else you'd like to do, Nari?
I am going to yell at her and say, a deal is a deal! Let us pass safely! Please! No violence necessary!
All right. For her turn, Since she was plummeting from the sky, and that was more or less to see if Nari was going to do anything reactionary with regards to the fall, I'm going to give her a dexterity saving throw to see if she can recover before smashing into the ground for 10d6 points of damage. So, because she rolled like a natural 5 on her strength save, I'd say that she's significantly harried from the grapple that Agrimar had her in. So I'm going to set this difficulty as a DC 15. I'm going to roll it out in the open.
Natural 1.
Lucas, you want to roll me 10d6 for
Oh,
this?
yes. I would love to roll you 10d6. Let me get some more d6s. I got a bunch of them.
Oh,
So that's, let's see, that's 5. One more. Alright, let's see. Ooh, that's a 5. That's a 10. That's a 15. Plus 18. So that is 30 something. 6. That's going to be 39 points of damage.
Off a 10d6?
Yep.
All right. As she slams into the ground, she is just kind of left limping for a moment as she flutters her wings and the air around her grows significantly dark and shadowed. And she is concealed by this orb of darkness. Cap,
yes.
what would you like to do?
Can I still see her?
She seems to have just cast some sort of spell, much like the spell Darkness. So you don't have line of sight to her, but you know within a 20-foot radius where she is. Or it might be a 15, let me double check.
Darkness? I think it's 15.
You know she's somewhere within this 15-foot radius sphere of darkness.
I'm going to hit the other harpy. Can I see the other harpies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to
You see
hit
a
the other
few.
harpy.
All right.
20. Oh, damn it, that was the wrong one. I didn't mean to do the sling.
20 hits.
God damn.
8 bludgeoning damage. That's actually really good.
Do I get a sneak attack?
It's
Bonus?
not within 5 feet. Actually,
It just tried to grab her fall, right?
you do not currently know.
Just take the damage.
Yeah. And then I'm going to hide again.
All right. As you dip back into the grass with a 21. Rafal.
So there are 2 harpies near me, right?
Yes, sir.
And then there's the big harpy that's in the magical
Big harpy
darkness.
that just hit the ground and is somewhere within that magical darkness.
And Agrimar is safe with Nari.
You have no idea what the fuck just happened.
I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Nari just disintegrated him.
He's
Okay.
He said he betrayed us, so I took care of him.
Am I near Nari?
You tell me, how far from Nari are you at the bottom of this cliff?
I don't know. Doesn't it depend where the harpies dropped us off?
You guys had roughly a round and a half to move about at the base while looking back upwards to collect
Oh, yeah.
yourselves.
Be where you want to
Alright,
be.
well, Rafal's going to take care of his harpy problem, and then he's going to run over to Nari. So he's going to attack. He's going to flame on, and he's going to attack the 2 harpies near him.
All right.
So first one, 15 for
15 hit.
8, And then fire damage. 3 fire.
Bonus action to set it ablaze to begin dealing some damage.
Oh, it's supposed to be an extra 2d6.
2d6,
What am I doing?
yeah.
What am I thinking? 3 more. How about that?
All right. Harpy does not like that. As you slice into her, she's still flapping, but clearly injured.
And then he's going to attack the other one and see if he can't just scare him off.
All right.
Probably misses.
Swinging this fiery blade upwards at it. Go ahead and roll me an intimidation.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's a disadvantage because of the exhaust. 20. Not natural.
This harpy starts to fly backwards a little bit cautiously to stay just outside of your swing range. But its eyes keep darting upwards back towards its nest.
Then, yeah, Rafal's going to try to move towards Nari, even if this one tries to attack him.
All right.
This other one.
So the one that you did hit is going to try an opportunity attack with a total of 19 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
For 5 points of slashing damage.
I'll accept this damage. And he's gonna, Rafal's gonna move over to Nari and pull out his shield so he can protect Nari. And that's the end of his turn.
All right. As those harpies, the one that has taken an arrow as well as a swing from your blade is looking to go back for revenge and is now flying towards you and Nari, and is going to try one more swing. With a natural 4 and a natural 5, this guy's going to have a bad day. As the other one that you were swinging the sword in front of but didn't quite land a hit on is just going to start fluttering upwards. And you see as she begins flapping upwards away from this fray, other harpies begin following her upwards and just kind of scattering across the sky, just clearly running. Agrimar,
Yes.
you find yourself in this strange gray void. There seems to be nothing around you, and it feels similar to like you were falling a moment ago, but you're not necessarily sickened by the feeling. It doesn't feel like zero gravity or anything like that. You have no idea where you might be. If there's anything you would like to do at this time.
In a gray void. Yeah, I think Agamar is just gonna start like meditating. And he's been in the portable hole before, and he's kind of been in this situation of being in utter blackness and not really able to do anything. So he's gonna meditate, and he will just focus on his breathing for the moment.
All right. Nari.
Is the owl harpy still in a ball of blackness?
You know there's a ball of blackness, and you saw the owl harpy fall in that area before the spell popped up. Whether she's still there or not is yet to be seen. You haven't seen anyone leave.
Okay, I am going to. I don't want to do anything until I can see her. But I will look to Rafal and be like, I have Agramar safely. We just have to get the rest of the caravan and we can go. And then I can release him and we will be good. I am going to stand at the ready. If something comes to attack me, I will try and hit it with my spear. but I will wait until I see the harpy to try and do another thing. So,
All right, so Nari readies herself for an attack. As everyone begins to hear this strange, melancholic medley flowing from the base of this cliffside, this alluring song emanating from that sphere of darkness. Can I have everybody make me a wisdom saving throw?
Ryan, has it been an hour since we last encountered them?
No.
Okay. Everyone will have an advantage on their wisdom saving throw from my motivational speech that I gave at the top of the cliff.
Heck yeah.
And Nari's standing next to me, so she's gonna get the +3.
Remember my final words as you make this
So
save.
Fall got a 24.
24, 24, and a 14.
woohoo!
Kevin,
Uh-oh.
there's something about this beautiful song these harpies are singing, and it's just hitting all the right notes for you as you feel yourself just kind of shuffling a little bit closer. Mechanically, this means that you're going to be charmed until this song ends. And while charmed, you are incapacitated and ignore the songs of other harpies. And a target that is more than 5 feet away from this harpy must move its highest rate, including dashing if necessary, along the most direct route to get within 5 feet of the harpy. The charmed creature doesn't maneuver to avoid opportunity attacks, but it can repeat the saving throw every time it takes damage from anything other than the harpy. It also repeats the saving throw before entering damaging terrain. And the creature also repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. And upon a success, you are immune to the song of this harpy for 24 hours. So this beautiful song begins to emit.
Because didn't she succeed earlier?
Not her. Other harpies.
Oh, got it.
This is the first time the owl harpy has sung. Her alluring song is a little bit different. Very simple. So Kevin, on your turn, you start just making a break for this ball of darkness, going your full movement speed, as well as making use of a bonus action to dash, if necessary, to go from where you're hiding in the grass to inside of this orb of darkness. And at the end of your turn, if you'd like, you can repeat this wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, my mic was off. Yeah, I'm going to roll. God damn it. Even with do I still have advantage or is this just a straight roll?
I believe the advantage
You
lasts.
still have advantage.
Okay. Let's do this.
14 is just going to miss once again.
Are you what the fuck?
You get a 15.
God.
As you enter the darkness and Kevin vanishes from sight.
Oh,
Rafal.
God damn it.
Rafal's gonna shout, "Oh God damn it!" And he's going to yell to Nari. He's gonna say, "Hey, if you can, get Agrimar back. We're gonna need his power." And then he's gonna go fucking rushing into the darkness.
My God.
All right. Making use of your movement speed, you get about 15 feet from the edge of where this void of darkness is.
I can't make it inside.
Kevin had to dash to get to it.
Okay, then here is what I'm going to do. Rafal is gonna reach deep down into his being, and he's gonna conjure the daylight spell.
Oh!
And he's gonna reach forth his hand, or no, he's gonna stick his sword out in front of him, and his sword is just gonna glow bright as like the noonday sun.
Expecto
And,
Patronum.
he's going to like cast this light like right above where the sphere of darkness is.
All right. As those on the outside watch as this orb of darkness just begins to flake and burn away as this radiant daylight spell hits the surface of it. And it's just irradiating this spell. And as it does so, it reveals the spaces inside where this owl harpy is reaching a clawed finger, stretching her arm out towards Kevin, looking directly at her as this
Ooh.
spell is dissipated around the two of them.
And then with his action, I don't think I have anything. That is going...
Action is daylight.
Huh?
So action is daylight.
Yeah, I know. I still have
Bonus.
a bonus action left. That's what I
Foiled
was
you.
With his bonus action, he will make his cape billow. That is the
All
end of his
right.
turn.
That's a good use of your bonus.
Oh yeah.
Agrimar. You remain
Agrimar.
meditating.
Agrimar is going to focus, and he thinks the 3 has granted him life this day, and he's hoping that he will be let out so he can pursue his course of action.
Only the 3 know what the 3 know.
Only the three know.
Dead.
Nari.
Okay, well, I was planning on running away with Agrimar, so there's no reason to try to attack us more. But seeing that didn't
So what do you
work,
want to do?
I will release Agrimar. Agrimar, I choose you. So I open the slap around my flask. As Agrimar appears in front of me, I will say, Kevin is in trouble. We need your help.
And Agrimar, as this flask opens up, you hear this voice command you, breaking your own will to the point that you will obey the commands of Nari, no matter what, for the next hour. Unless it's a command that's likely to result in your death.
Anything out of her mouth is likely to result in my death. But I will heed her command and begin running towards
But you are
my
pulled
friends.
from this gray void and back into the grassland.
You see Agrimar's normally like kind of yellowish eyes kind of glaze over white as he's under command. And he begins running towards Rafal and Kevin.
On your turn, you can. For now,
Withholding
the
an
owl
action.
harpy is going to. You were meditating. The
Ah!
owl harpy is going to
Damn
reach
it.
its clawed finger towards Kevin and try to
Wait,
just scoop
That
her up.
wasn't my whole turn, though, right?
That was an action.
You get bonus and movement.
Can I move closer to the harpy? And how much closer would that bring me?
That'll bring you
Right next
30
to
feet
Rafal.
from the harpy. Yeah, right beside her.
I would like to cast Hexblade Curse. And as my bonus action. And then I will be done with my turn.
All right. As the owl harpy outstretches her clawed talons towards Kevin and is just going to try and scoop her up. Kevin,
Of
can I get an
course.
opposed athletics or acrobatics check?
Come on.
2
Okay.
times
Squeaky,
in a row.
you sneaky little bastard, come on.
What do I have to roll for disadvantage?
Yes,
or
it's
what
a
do
check.
Yeah.
You do.
God
You're
fucking
still
damn it.
Acrobatics at
Swear to
disadvantage. Oh no, Kevin!
Oh god damn it.
You have to beat an 18.
Oh,
That's deception. That's
hell.
not-
Shit.
That was
come on.
deception. That wasn't the right one.
Oh, that's not the right
Oh.
one.
Athletics
Okay.
or acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Okay, come on.
It would be an 18.
Oh?
A 22.
22!
One more.
22. She's going to use her second
No, she
attack
did
to
it.
try and do it.
Okay.
2
I
I mean,
grapple
the harpy is
actions.
going to now try and beat a 22.
Damn it.
No, that's going to be a 19 on her second roll. So she flails twice
Kevin's
for you,
squirreling.
Kevin,
Evan!
and she starts flapping her wings upwards and ascending, provoking an attack of opportunity from you if you'd like to take it, Kevin.
Oh
Shake
yeah.
it.
Oh my God. I'm going to hit her with my bare paw, with my bare arm.
Not
Oh,
a
that
Swing
disadvantage.
away.
17.
17.
That's a 25 to hit.
25 is going to hit, dealing 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yay, Kevin!
As you clip her in the back, kind of about her thigh, as she's just flapping upwards and begins flying up. She goes 80 feet in this first round, straight up the side of this cliff. With that, Kevin, you are up.
I'm no longer incapacitated or charmed.
That's a good question.
Oh, God damn it.
She might have not been able to take that swipe. You were technically attacked, but
But it's only affected whenever
Damage.
creatures other than this harpy damage.
So charmed.
So you don't get the punch off, and you are still technically charmed by this harpy, but you don't necessarily want to go flying up with the harpy, as you are able to just kind of slip your way out from its grip and remain on the ground as it takes off.
So I have to do a wisdom saving throw
Wisdom saving throw.
at advantage because of Agramar's beautiful speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck?
You miss it by 1 every time.
Is she really close to Rafal? Is that
No,
gonna...
she's 30 feet
30
away
feet
from
from
me.
Rafal.
Dang it!
Why the hell am I rolling 14?
Roll better.
Rafal.
Is the rest of the caravan kind of
Still
through
slowly
here?
descending.
They got
60
slow
feet
fall.
around.
I think it's gonna take them 2 more rounds to get to the ground.
Rafal is going to... Yeah, I think he wants to shoot another guiding bolt at this harpy.
All right, she's 80
at a
feet
second
away.
level. Is a 15.
15 is just what you needed to hit.
Oh. Wait.
Oh, one above. But it hits.
Oh.
All right.
You rolled that
18
advantage,
radiant
too.
damage.
18 radiant.
And I guess that's the end of Rafal's turn. He's going to move the 30 feet to Kevin.
All right, you close the gap between yourself and Kevin. And you can see she's still looking upwards at this harpy who's flying away with just this awe-inspired look in her eyes. Wow, I can't believe she picked me. Agramar.
All right, so the next attack has advantage on her.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does she look pretty rough?
She doesn't look healthy.
All right, good. Fuck her. All right, I'm gonna run.
Currently 60 feet back from Kevin.
Yeah.
80
So
feet.
I'm gonna
down
bonus
from the
action using my Orc Fury to run, and my movement to run 60 feet up to below her. I'll reach my hands to the heaven and bring down a 4th level guiding bolt on top of her head with advantage.
All right.
The 3 will pass judgment upon you. Ooh. It's a natural 15, so I think that's gonna hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, so 4th level guiding bolt. That's going to be 7d6 of radiant damage. Let's get some more d6.
Could do it.
Let's go do it. Roll well, Agramar. Well, that's 1/6. Woo! All right. 12. 28 points of damage.
She's looking rough.
Fuck! Alright. That's all I got.
As
And
Agrimark
the next
sprints-
attack has advantage on it.
Yes, sir. Nari.
Shoot her! Shoot her!
No, I don't know if we should kill her.
Fucking kill her! She tried to drop me off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to target her with my Eldritch Blast.
Advantage.
Oh, it's advantage, but let me click it
15
again
still
for
hits. Click it in case it's a crit.
15s.
Well, I don't even know what I got yet.
2 15s.
Nari, as your
8 damage.
bolt of 8 force damage slams into the back of this harpy, she flutters but poorly recovers in her flight. If you'd like to take another shot at her.
Yes. But I do have Hexblade Curse cast on her, so that adds proficiency
2 damage.
damage.
That puts her at 1 hit point.
Ah!
And
Second
because
attack.
it's Eldritch Blast, I get to hit her twice, so I will hit again.
Second one not at advantage.
Oh, second one's not an advantage. Well, gosh dang it.
But a 23 is still
15
gonna
still
hit.
hits. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yay.
How do you want to do this?
I am going to say to her, I wish we could have come to better terms. I'm not happy to have to put you down, but let's face it, Captain Birds never got along in the first place. And then I will steal her life from her.
As you blast the life out from this harpy shell of a form,
And
there's this moment that the feathers just kind of all about the air. She slams into the side of this cliff wall and just plummets 80 feet down.
And
And
as
with
she's
a-
falling, you see this light coming out of her and coming into the tip of my spear as I regain hit points from crushing her.
Nice. As again, she slams into the base of this cliff, full speed.
I kind of feel really bad, though. I feel like she didn't have to die.
I'm glad she's dead.
As the other harpies noticeably scatter from the area.
I was gonna say we're gonna make sure the other harpies don't keep fucking with
So leader's gone, they scatter. Sweet.
And I would like
They saw
to
you
use my
kill
movement.
plenty of them without the leader. They saw you kill more of them with the leader. They are out of this.
I would like to use my movement to lock up on the dead owl harpy. To see what good she has.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Agamar is
Give me
just
a second,
extremely
that's
sorry
real.
that he... I failed you all. I am so sorry. I thought that I could make a deal with these harpies.
It's not your fault, Agramar.
What happened?
You're a trusting soul.
Well, I told them that I could create more food for them, and then she wanted me to stay there forever, for your lives.
So it's not your fault. It's her greed.
Yeah, I told her she could come to me and I could give her food any time, but she didn't
Hey,
like that.
Agramar, could you stand on your head?
What?
That's a stupid.
I'm just curious.
I'm sorry, you have owl feathers in your mouth. What did you say?
You heard me, Agramar.
No, I really didn't, Amanda. I have no idea what you said.
Can you stand on your head? You know, handstand?
Yes. I'm quite flexible.
Does anyone get what Amanda's getting at?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
the iron flask. I think for an hour.
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
Alright. Monkey has to play. I
As
do.
Kevin and Rafal look over with a look of confusion on their faces. Agramar reluctantly turns himself over
Just so you
Perhaps
know,
do a head
I
save.
wear a skirt and nothing underneath, so.
Oh,
Ugh.
Nari, why?
I immediately regret my decision.
Agrimar, you really think now is the best time to be doing that?
I was just curious if it would work.
The
or not.
master
I
said
haven't
I
really
had
gotten
to, so
there.
I had to do what she said.
Nari, tell
As
him to go on
several
2 feet
figures
again.
Begin drifting down with the feather fall about now-ish, completing their 300-foot descent. One by one, the members of this caravan arrive with varied
God.
expressions on their faces. Some of them absolute terror. Others still looking up to the skies for more harpies. Others with look of almost admiration towards Agrimar. And others still just with a very upset and confused look on their faces, looking towards the rest of you.
Oh, this
As
goes
others
really
begin
well.
to reharness the horses and assemble everything back together to continue this journey.
Oh, this really goes really good for Agrimar's image of trying to get followers to the 3. Oh, man. I'm still on my hands, by the way.
Maybe next time you try to teach them how to fish instead of providing the fish for them.
That's a fair point, Rahul. Agrimar's head starts swelling a little bit. Veins start popping out of his head as he's still on his hands.
Nari, can
Has
he
a
get onto
stroke.
2 feet?
Oh yeah, I thought I told him not. Yeah, I hope he's not upside down anymore.
Apparently, these commands only work if he hears what you're telling him to do.
I thought I said it, but my computer didn't.
No, you just want to look, you sick cat.
A girl wants what she wants. Okay?
What is thy command, my mistress?
I'm confused. Nari, what's going on?
This magical flask. You remember that guy from outside the inn and that told you guys to buy the chandelier, but you guys didn't buy the chandelier, but I kind of feel bad because they got this super cool flask from him and he didn't even know it was magical. Well, apparently it does magical things. You remember that water elemental that we got back there and I was able to capture it and use it for later. I did the same thing with Agrabah so he wouldn't die from falling. But now he has to listen to me for an hour because that's how it works. So I thought I might have some fun with it, but that fun really backfired. So
Well, could you get him up on his feet? We need to get going.
yes, Agramar, let us be on our way. We'll gather the horses, and as we walk, you can tell us a really good story.
Of course. And Agrimar starts walking towards Brandy on his hands.
I told you to stand up, okay? I don't know how that doesn't get.
You said let's gather the horses, mistress.
Oh my god. Oh
On
no.
your feet, Agramar. Gather the horses on your feet. Put your armor on. You know, okay?
Of course,
Goodness.
my mistress. And Agrimar does belaying his large size, does a fantastic handspring and lands on his feet. Rafal, I require my armor.
Yes, I suppose you do. Rafal will open up the hole and unpack the armor for Agrimar, and he might as well put his own on while he's at it.
Yeah, okay. I resuit up and I go to the horse and I begin telling a beguiling story of the Grey Void, which lasted all about 12
This isn't gonna be
seconds.
the kind of story like Preston tells, is it?
No,
Because if so, I'm out.
it's a story of about 12 seconds where I was in a grey void.
How long is this story going to be? 12 seconds or an hour?
But if I recall correctly, my mistress, that flask only works on people from another plane. Are you telling me that I'm from another plane?
I don't know, Agramar. Tell me your life story. Are you from another plane? I don't know how it works. I just tried to suck you in the bottle. I was just thinking quickly of how I could save you, and that was the only thing I had that I might be able to help you. So it's what I did. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know if it would work. Are you from another plane? I don't even know if you can lie to me right now, honestly.
Ryan, is there something I could roll to recall memories?
I mean,
You're gonna need some Midnight Rose, a Hellfire Opal, and the bones of Upteo.
I have some bone dice now, so that's cool, if that helps.
I feel like that's something you either know or you don't know. That's not like a by the way, I forgot to mention.
I wasn't sure if there was some amnesia sometime in the dwarven camps or
Yeah,
not.
I just don't think that one will be a dice roll for that.
Yeah. We're kind of close to the rest of the caravan, and I lean in. Well, I'm under command, so I have to speak it.
Yeah.
I have told Rafal that I was part of an orc and Goliath camp when we were enslaved in Valyria.
Yep, this is true.
But
can cooperate.
I think that perhaps my spirit was placed upon this earth. I've been trying to research this, but I might have come from an outer plane and placed as a ward on this land. The cracked moon that I told you about so long ago, that I thought was your god, Nari, I think it might have been me. I think I was shunted from where I truly belong onto this mortal plane.
And what plane do you think you belong on?
Judging by my abilities, Ryan, do you have planes set up?
Not thoroughly.
Okay.
If you've got a name, we can go for it. If you'd like a stand-in, I got a couple.
Give me a stand-in. I got nothing right now.
So there's Daganata. It's a realm, a planescape similar to the material plane, though everything's a little bit more cold. Most materials made out of metal, no plant life or anything like that.
That's me. Don't go any further. I was from the plane of Daganata. That's why I can manipulate metal so well. I believe that is where I draw my powers.
So you're like, okay, I literally only heard bits and pieces, so I'm slightly confused still. But you said you're like from a different planet, and what does it have to do with your gods? What? I'm sorry.
I don't know entirely what it has to do with the Great Three, but there's a possibility that I was maybe a messenger or a demigod of some sort of one of them that assisted in ruling another plane or was in charge. I don't know. I don't know all the answers, but I do know that something is not right if that item worked on me.
Are you saying this loud enough so only Nari can hear, or also so Kevin and Rafal can hear this?
I'd say the group of us as we're getting armored, so it'd be the four of us would be close enough to hear it. The visions that I get, it's not directly from the gods. It's almost as if I have seen them. It's odd. It's like I have been there. I have seen things that I haven't physically been there to witness. Out of body experiences, even.
I know all about the out-of-body experiences, let me tell you.
But what I do know is that I was sent here for a great purpose, and I believe it is with Rafal and with Kevin and yourself, my mistress. I think using my abilities that we can reform and reforge this world into something that is far better than it was before. For that is what a blacksmith does. Takes raw materials, scraps even, and forms it into elegant designs, used for war, used for warming a home, and used for building great kingdoms. I think that's why I'm here.
Well, it's a good thing that you're from a different realm, or you would have gone splat on the ground, huh?
I'm sure I would have been just fine. If that hobby lady could do it, I could do it as well.
Well, yeah, but then I wouldn't have had this really cool story, so.
Well, I thank you, my mistress, for unlocking a part of my brain that I didn't know was there.
Hashtag character development through medical.
Totally part of the plan. Just
Never
like I knew it
didn't have
would.
it.
So, we have about 55 minutes left of this nonsense. Where do we go from here, my mistress?
Oh, make him do it back.
Wait, what?
Oh, speak up, Rachel, please.
Oh.
I'm having fun tonight. I've had a lot of alcohol. Let's keep going.
I'm just suggesting make him do a backflip, because I think that'd be pretty cool.
But we already saw what happens when he goes upside down, and I don't know if that's something we should experience again.
Yeah,
I
but he'll
think-
have armor on this time.
I think Lady
Hopefully.
Kevin wants a second look.
No, God, no. I mean, nice package, but no thank you. Return to sender, you know? I'm sorry if that made everyone uncomfortable right now.
I just like, never mind. I should not say that.
No, say it out loud. We're all sharing here.
Please don't be bashful. I haven't
He's
been.
probably like at least half the size of Kevin.
Oh, God.
He just like inside promotion.
Never mind. Keep it inside.
That's how babies are made. Okay. Oh, Ryan, please save us from ourselves.
So you guys spend the remainder of this hour re-equipping your armor, garbing yourselves, reassembling the wagons, putting everything back into place, loading up the cargo that had to be separated to fit on the individual floating disc platforms. And you guys ready yourselves to continue onward in these roughly waist-high grasses. As you guys start to cross these fields, everybody go ahead and roll me perception checks.
Disadvantage. I see shit. I got a 10.
They're at disadvantage, right?
Yep.
Oh, a
Yes.
26.
Oh, Kevin! Shit!
So you guys can see about these plains, there's the occasional clusterings of small trees, brush, large rocks. It's very much a kind of savanna-like terrainscape that you guys are passing through. The ground isn't so flat as it is just a bunch of various sized hills as far as your eyes can see. It's a very beautiful looking landscape. And as the sun is drawing towards its dusk, the sky begins to change into a rainbow-like pattern of colors dancing across the sky with just these dark purples that stretch into pinks and reds that dip into oranges and whites. It's a very painted sky-esque sunset taking place. Kevin, with your 23, you catch about 50 feet, maybe 60 feet ahead of where you guys are
Wait.
in your path. You catch a small cluster of movement nearby one of those trees, where the brush just ever so slightly looks to dimple and sway in a way that doesn't blow with the wind. You catch about 4 or 5 of these movements within the grass.
Do I know what? Do we know of any predators here that might make those dimples in the ground?
Roll me a nature check.
I know nothing of here.
I'm not hot on the nature. Disadvantage.
I mean, you've heard about tigers,
8.
but, you know, even tigers, who knows what sort of landscape those are in. This place sure isn't like the Empire.
We are not in Kansas anymore.
I'm just going to kind of point it out and say something's over there. Don't know what it is. It could be a tiger, could be a bear. Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Did we already leave the cliffside?
You guys are a couple of hours from the cliffside.
And let's
It's been almost a full day, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before we left, did anyone else check the harpy body or no?
I was
Ah,
not commanded to do so, so I did not search.
I thought you checked the owl harpy, right?
I did check the alibi, but I was curious if anyone else did. 'Cause, I mean,
No.
shit, but I wasn't sure, like, if
I-
Professor Barnaby was curious about her or anything, but that's fine.
When I say like you found the dice in her pocket, it's less so much as like pockets, and more like a sash, so just kind of knotted onto one of her arms, as she's not really wearing clothing, just scraps of whatever hides she
Ew.
might have pulled off her meals.
Oh, lovely. Well, I was curious if Professor Barnaby was, like, going to, like, investigate her, since he's all about, like, the creatures and such, so...
She
that was
doesn't
just-
seem to be particularly interested in the harpies,
Okay, that's fine. Hours later. Sorry.
but happier to
You
get
can't
away
lie
from
to
it.
tigers and bears now.
Oh my, what was that?
Yeah. Can I? Oh, well, that was my perception check. Now that Kevin pointed it out, though, can I get a better look, maybe, in the direction she pointed?
I mean,
Something out?
the direction she pointed, it's about 70 feet ahead of the caravan. You don't see the movement, but you can see the occasional swaying of the grass with the breeze and the wind. You have no reason to doubt Kevin.
Yeah, no, totally. There might be something over there, so I will keep my eyes open. For sure.
Well, what's your recommendations then? Are we continuing or going around it, or are we stopping for you to investigate again?
I mean, we can continue, but let us ride ahead. And if you guys see us get attacked, stop, and then we'll take care of it and then continue.
You see us mauled by a tiger.
Yeah, right? Like,
Halt the horses.
I don't know what it is, but if you see us, get jumped right in front of you, I guess don't proceed unless you want to be a part of it. But there's no reason to stop unless we actually see immediate danger, right? So, yeah, I vote us four right ahead, a little bit faster pace. You guys kind of slow the pace, and we'll give you the okay when we get up there and there's nothing there, or you'll see us in a fight and you'll know to slow down. That's my plan.
Right.
Got to keep this caravan on schedule, Professor.
That's why she's the leader.
Here, here.
Right, I suppose.
Killer away! And I gallop faster going forward, keeping my eyes peeled for the direction Kevin pointed.
Go ahead and roll me. I think it would be a survival check.
Man, we gotta get rid of this
Track down
exhaustion.
this creature in the grass.
Agrimar will start moving up as well. Can't let the leader of the party be by themselves.
I'll follow because we gotta adhere to the buddy system.
Well, that means I gotta go
I
too.
don't think I see it. With a natural one.
Nari,
Jeez.
you catch the scent of a very fresh-looking trail.
Good thing
see
you know we
it
have disadvantage
clearly.
because I rolled a 20. That sucks.
Rip.
Truth either way. Yeah, guys, I mean, it looks totally clear over here. I'm not really seeing, I mean, Kevin, maybe you're spooked from the harpies still? I don't know. I don't see anything. This looks like a great place to be riding. Honestly, I feel like I just want to, stop here for the night and just live here forever. It seems super safe.
No, I clearly saw something in the grass. I think you're not seeing something.
Was it?
Did she say we're stopping for the night?
No.
Give us a moment.
All right.
Pretty.
Agrimar would like to take a look as well.
Yeah, Rafal's gonna look too now.
Shit. Nope. Even worse than Ari.
Hey.
I don't think it can be worse.
I got a 4
Wait, was
total.
it perception or survival?
Survival,
They're both
right.
wisdom.
Ah, damn it.
Oh no, then I got a 6. I did better than Ari.
Yeah, mine's exactly the same either way. So 17.
All right. So,
Sure,
Agrimar, you think you can see this set of tracks that Nari is pointing out? Yeah, I guess that's some broken grass over there, so I guess something might have run by that at some point. Meanwhile, Rafal's just kind of looking elsewhere in the fields, and he catches sight of a couple of feathers. What look to be almost pinkish, yellowish feathers poked ever so slightly over the top of the grass line before they, in just kind of moving and hopping about almost, dip out of sight behind some taller grass.
Great. Raptors.
Could he do like a knowledge nature check?
Absolutely. Roll me a nature check.
Guidance.
8.
Plus
Oh,
a D4
guidance.
for
I heard a
guidance.
guidance in there. I heard a guidance.
Yeah.
Plus
I
D4.
bless you. Achoo. 11.
I mean, you've heard some pretty scary stories about dinosaurs and stuff, but you've never actually seen one.
Except for the dragon. I feel like
Nari, Agrimar, what kind of creatures would bounce up and down and have, say, pink and orange feathers?
That's not Cookie from the tavern, is it?
he did have orange feathers. So. Could I do a check to see if I would recognize? I've seen many creatures in my time. So
Go ahead and
history-
roll me a nature check.
I love all these disadvantages. It's
Nope,
great.
nope, not
We're
me.
just not having a good time.
No. Fuck it.
Can I roll since he gave a more description? Can I roll again?
Sure. Go ahead and
God
try.
damn, these guys are killing us. No.
I think we
I
need to
roll for
rest,
nature?
y'all. This isn't going
Right.
too hot. Oh my god.
Rafal's is
Guys
gonna
have
ride forward
no
and go
idea.
investigate what he saw.
All right.
He's gonna
Rafal?
urge Epina forward.
Oh, really? That's what you named your horse?
Yes.
Love it.
Sheer coincidence.
If
As
I
you start
see
making your
Rafal
way-
start taking off, I'll chase after him.
All right. As you guys start kind of leading the way towards this movement that Rafal caught sight of. Rafal, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
You're really pushing it with all these.
Oh
skill
my
checks.
god.
Disadvantage.
God.
Just have it jump us, Ryan. Just
Rafal, you make
end
your
it.
way up to this grassy area where you saw the feathers moving around, and you can see what looked to be large three-clawed footprints, kind of just spaced out in the dirt,
Monster chickens! No!
but no sign of the creature itself.
Dire chickens.
Everything looks clear.
I told you it
You
looks
see
fine.
no other movement within the grass.
I don't like this. Something's not right. But I don't know.
Agrimar is not gonna. He's gonna be on edge and prepared and watching. But he'll head back to the road, or wherever
Alright.
we were heading, the trail.
Agrimar rides back to the caravan, and they're all patiently waiting with expectant looks. Well, what was it? A lion, a tiger, or a bear?
Oh my.
For a large chicken.
I think it was a large flamingo. It had those strange colored feathers, but I think we'll be all right. Just keep a watchful eye out.
That's peculiar. The flamingo doesn't typically live in such locations as this.
Well, it had feathers. They were orange and I
Most
think
flamingos
yellow.
do.
Yes, that's yes. Just keep a watchful eye out. And Agrimar would just turn around. I'm not so good with the people, and I turn around and start walking.
We're looking for a flock of flamingos, it seems.
Just if you see something other than us, call it out.
We got it, Agrimar. Thank you very much. You were quite clear. It's a flamingo
Sorry.
with feathers we're looking for.
I feel like I'm a little concussed at the moment.
Perhaps it was all that standing on your head you were doing earlier.
I was inside.
Ugh.
I was inside a very dark place for a short amount of time, and it messed with my brain.
You were what?
Agrimar just has a mini stroke and just keeps. His eyes are
it's
just
like one of those
blinking really
ones where
fast.
You look at somebody and then you just close your mouth and walk away.
just just start trotting down the road.
So you guys return to the caravan. How would you like to proceed?
I just thought we still go at same speed. I'm keeping my eyes out for giant pink chickens, and yeah, that's.
Do we see any landmarks on the horizon that might be a good place to set up camp?
Give me 1 second.
I'll be right back.
Agrimar being one of the tallest folk around here he would like to just try to scan, at least for like a clearing or just something that would make sense, like a nice safe place to lay down for the night. It's been a trying day.
Perception check, Agramar.
I'll give myself guidance. Because I need it. Ooh! Oh, one on the guidance. It is going to be a 15.
15. There look to be some larger hills kind of continuing in the eastward distance. What looks to be a couple of streams that crisscross through this area. A couple of areas with more clusters of trees, a little bit more populated with plant life, but otherwise it's mostly hilly, savanna-like grasslands. It's very open out here, save for the occasional rock jutting out of the dirt. And these are like large, oversized, like moved by an iceberg long, long ago rocks jutting out of the ground.
Rafal will point out to the party, we might want to go and make camp by that group of trees. There must be, and there's rivers nearby, so that way we can water the horses. I think that might be our safest place.
Right, Rafal says that. Rafal says that.
To the trees! Let's go!
So I guess we go to that bank of trees and...
All right, if that's the game plan, the caravan follows the party towards the kind of tree line. And over the next couple of hours, as the sun sets in the horizon, the camp is erected and dinner is kind of tended to and camp is drawn. And watches start to circle the camp's perimeter.
Ryan, about how many trees, roughly, is this little bank of trees?
Maybe 20.
Shit. Alright, never mind.
So, if we chop all of these down, Agramar can make this much gold. And
No, I can make a house. I can make a house.
Now he's catching on. We're not taking these trees with us, so if you turn them into gold, it won't be expending any more of our tools or resources.
Wait. I don't think it works that way, Rafal. I can't turn wood into gold.
And you can turn everything else. No.
No, I could fabricate a small hut for the four of us for the night.
Or we could just make camp.
Yeah, I mean,
Perhaps you should save your power.
fair point.
Los Flamingos could attack us at any moment.
That's true. That is true. Agramar will set up his little tent. His two-person tent that fits one Agramar. And I will assist in making the fire in every way I can, and just kind of just generally help the rest of the party set up as he can.
What's everybody else doing tonight?
Rafal wants to talk to Agramar.
Yes. Hello, Rafal. It was a trying day,
Hey.
wasn't it?
Yeah. So, about this whole being from another plane thing.
Strange, isn't it?
So, were you ever the chieftain of the Goliath clan?
Yes. Yes, I was. That everything I told you was true. I just think the origin of how it was brought to this world was slightly different.
Rafal wants to do an insight check on Agramar.
As he looks
No, I'm just
quizzically to me, yes, I was a product of rape, if that's what you're asking.
No, asking, but he will. Rafal will look at you and he'll say, "So does that mean that you wish to leave this place?"
No, of course not. It is far funner here than far more fun here than on Daganata. But no, I think I was cast out. I mean, that's the only reason why I would move to another plane. I'm here for a reason, and I think it is to help you with your goal of reclaiming your city, your kingdom. It's in dire straits, and you're the right person to fix it.
Am I close enough to hear?
You tell me, how far away
Sure.
is Nari?
It's a tight camp.
Yeah, let's say we're doing this around
Yeah.
the campfire.
I mean, my abilities are focused on rebuilding and constructing, and in other forms, the renewal of life and civilization and commerce. So your city has been wrought with decay and complacency and evil. I think I was sent here to help right that.
And what happens when that is all finished?
I don't know. I mean, other, tales of other divine beings were once mortal that gained enough following to ascend to godhood. Perhaps after your quest is done, I can pursue that one.
You wish to become a god?
I don't know. I was coming from another plane, being a divine being, an entity, floating and assisting others is... It's hard to encapsulate. It's hard to... I don't have the answer, Rafal. Unfortunately, I wish I did.
Well, I'm confused. Are you... So you're saying that you're divine in some way?
I think so. Yeah.
So, does your power come from yourself, or does it come from the three? Do you even worship other gods as a deity yourself?
Well, a deity needs followers to enhance their powers, so I am no deity. And I have
And
been
yet
working
you try to gain followers for another...
trying,
Okay.
unsuccessful, but I'm trying. But I have been working in concordance with the three, that is for sure, and I have been developing my own powers because the three do not see things as I do. And so, like with Trinia, I did not like the way they wanted to handle the situation, so I grasped power where I could, and I made the situation my own. But I still revere them. They are the greater gods, of course. And like much things in the world, it requires many sources of power in order to create life and for things to evolve and grow. Not one god can have dominion over all things. They require input from others. At least that's the way I see it. Does anybody have anything else to share? Or am I just story time on how I was once a divine being?
Well, so are you immortal now?
Oh yes, 100%. I have almost died a couple of times and you have saved me, Rafal. I am in your debt.
Well, I don't think that's what it means to be mortal necessarily. Can you die of old age?
Yes, I think that when I was brought to this plane, powers were stripped from me. Yes, I have limited stores of magic that I can call upon, and I have a finite life.
Well, I'm glad you are here to assist us for the time being, however long that is.
Hopefully, I can help for eternity.
Well, I'm not going to be around that long, Agrimar. So, I hope you don't get lonely.
Please, Rafal, with your good looks, I'll have many of your descendants to look after.
So I have things I think I want to say, but seeing that I've only caught about half the conversation, we're gonna have to continue this probably like next time. Because
Is your Discord breaking up?
my entire computer is just like freezing in and out and like getting bits and pieces, and I'm like, because I'm like, I have like things. I'm like, oh my god, I want to say this. I'm like, but wait, I don't know if that's actually what you said or not, so I don't know if that's.
Well, you can bring it up, Amanda, and I can speak to it.
Yeah, maybe Nari's hearing this at a distance on the other side of the fire, not catching every word.
Yeah. So
Wait, what was that?
like,
What was that?
maybe perhaps they might be. I'm like, have task manager open. I'm trying to like delete shit. I'm like, why is my computer so crappy? But so like, here's my question. If I'm hearing what I think I'm hearing, possibly, you're like this otherworldly being, but maybe you came here and you're like really big into the free, which is like super cool for you. But I mean, since you're in such, determined to help Rafal with MistHaven, perhaps Kronos has more to do with your life than you want to believe. I mean, you're such like a shun the non-believer kind of person, but I feel like perhaps he could really help you with a lot of things that you're trying to get done, and perhaps he even knows more answers to your questions. So, if we meet again, maybe that could be a way for you to talk to him and understand him better, and maybe you guys could actually be pretty cool friends, yeah?
And I'm pretty sure we learned about Kronos being a terrible person, right?
He's an
Terrible entity.
You guys know
Enslaves
he's an
people.
aboleth, but like I don't think you guys really like knew what an aboleth is technically. And
Just from Agrimar's visions.
No, we do. Agrimar rolled a natural 20. Agrimar knows exactly what an aboleth is.
Yeah, no.
But is that
Nari,
really so bad?
I understand where you're coming from, and the thirst for knowledge is great. But when it comes to certain entities, their wisdom and guidance might be beneficial for a time, but overall, at the end of the day, they want everything for themselves. Now, it might be a temporary boon for the goal at hand, but at the end of the day, it's not good for anyone if people of that kind, or entities of that kind of power, are fit to rule anything. But use it as you see fit. I am not in control of you at any point.
Okay. I heard a few words of that.
Oh man.
I'll chew on it and think it's over.
Amanda, connect on your phone. Connect on your phone so your computer doesn't interrupt you.
It was working fine earlier, so I don't understand what's happening.
My divine power has broken your computer.
Why?
I should have never put you in the flask. It ruined everything.
None of this would have come out, thank you. This was enlightening. Thank you, everyone. I didn't think I had the nerve for this to come out.
Well, quick question. Are you, in order to rebuild this world, are you going to do it by force, if necessary? And how are you going to maintain it? Because just building things isn't enough. I mean, you still need to sharpen a sword.
I
That makes
am not going to destroy anything. I am not going to take anything by force. I fully plan on assisting those that I believe, and with the three's guidance, would be fit to build a society that is better. Now, if they choose to go to war for their kingdoms and their societies, so be it. It is not my place to govern that, but I believe that I am set here to provide groundwork for long-lasting prosperity.
Alright.
So do you have memories of being a divine being? And what did you do that got you cast out?
I saw that there was a void in time, in life, that people were stricken with illnesses that should have been healed and were struck down in malicious acts that should not have happened, and the greater gods deemed it fine. They deemed the course of action was okay, and the thought of reversing those actions were punishable by banishment. I felt that there should be a way that the gods could take on the burden. You see, as a healer now, the way the cosmos is currently working, they have to offer some of their spirit, some of their life essence, in order to bring someone back from the dead. Now, I don't believe everyone should be brought back, but those that were wrongfully killed and wrongfully taken from this earth when things could have been done differently. The people that are trying to make the world a better place should not be punished for attempting to bring those people back. And the Greater Three didn't like that.
Why?
Death is a domain that they hold, and playing with people's fates is not something that they like. I want to make a gateway. I want to make a gateway that does not punish those who were wrongfully ended. Their lives were wrongfully ended early. I want there to be an avenue for their return.
How would you accomplish that?
I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm able to make things. I can convert one substance to another. I figure if I regain more of my powers that I might be able to eventually
Do just enough to get struck down by the greater deities once more. Do you
Yes.
plan on overthrowing the cosmos
No.
to fulfill your plan?
No, I hope to shed light on the darkness of their vision.
Would anyone be able to be brought back if you were to gain this power?
I can bring someone back now, but it will cost me a bit of my soul. And I'm hoping to alleviate that in the far distant future. It seems like we can do so many things with magic, with no consequence, or very little. Yet the simple act of saving someone's life has a cost so high.
Oh, you're not saving their life, you're restoring their life.
Correct. But
It's something that requires a price, Agrimar.
I know it does. I know. It's a lofty goal, a lofty dream.
Well, you still haven't. How? So your plan is to convince them they're wrong?
Yes. I've done it once before. Why can't I do it with this?
When did you do it before?
With Trinia.
What do you mean?
We changed the fates of the entire city by what we did. Thousands were meant to die if she lived. She has lived. And a handful of evil has been swept from the earth. I changed their mind, and they gave me the power to draw upon myself. They unlocked the ability within me to draw my own power, to make the decisions I see fit, to be the maker. I think
You have
that
a strange relationship with faith, Agrimar.
it is strange. It's tough to deal with gods and men and my own emotions. Sometimes I get the better of myself. I try to help everyone I can, and a lot of times it backfires on me, but I will do what I can. Where I can. With what power I have.
It just seems like you have split loyalties, and that eventually you're going to come to a head with deciding which master you serve.
What, myself or the three? The greater gods?
Yes. What are you going to do if they don't agree with you and you cannot convince them?
I don't know.
Simply try to gain more power and overthrow them? Do you see the three as evil? If so, why follow them? Your thought process confuses me.
I don't see them as evil. I just see them as...
Short-sighted.
Yes, short-sighted. They have gained...
Those that have been around since the beginning of time are being short-sighted.
Well,
Maybe they sent you down here to learn a lesson.
that's certainly possible, Rafo.
Your arrogance is honestly staggering.
Quite.
And I thought wanting to be king was an arrogant act. Wanting to be a god is.
Well, it's an aspiration.
It definitely makes me feel better about my aspirations.
We'll see. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm completely misguided and I'm going about this all the wrong way. But what I'm trying to do is for the betterment of everyone, and I need to follow that path.
Right, so don't mean to break all this up then, but speaking of the betterment of everyone, can you make more rations for us then, or did you spend it all on the harpies?
But of course. Agrimar gets up and walks over to their side of the camp.
Appreciate it, friend.
We have how many people here? We got enough. I can do it with 3rd level. Yeah, so I find a place, or I drop my barrels, and I cast create food and water, and create a barrel of food and a barrel of water.
All right. As the camp settles in for the night, I think we'll go ahead and take a 5-minute break.
Awesome.
So I'll be right back.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to like delete cookies and stuff right now, guys. Damn. I was trying to fix it during Charles's nap. I was working on it for like an hour, and it didn't help at all. What the heck? So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm still totally confused by your backstory.
I'm back.
All right.
Hey.
Well, that was intense, right? I mean...
Well, I'm just thoroughly confused by the idea of what gods are in this world now.
Me too, Nick. Ryan's gonna have a field day with this one. So when Ryan said that in order to revive people, there was like a sacrifice that had to be made. When I made this character, I was like, oh, well, I want to make become a person that might be able to like bridge that gap, like change the rules of that particular magic. And so that's kind of where I was trying to take Agrimar.
I mean, I'm more confused by the whole I used to be a god thing, where it's like, wait, I thought there were only 3 gods and we weren't even sure if they were real. And like now we're 100% sure they're real. By the way, there are other gods too. Like, it's just a lot.
Agrimar definitely wasn't a god. That's for sure. Not
That's what you just said, that you were a divine being.
Not a god. I mean, there's a divine plane. Like Asmars and other, not Asmars, like Devas and other things have come from. They're not gods.
Right, but you said demigod. That's different.
Yeah, demigod, not a god. Just Hercules, imbued with godly power.
Right, like Asimars and Tieflings, right? They're not divine beings.
Correct.
They're humanoids. You are not a humanoid.
In a previous life.
Magic.
Magic.
Or maybe he's just a crazy person.
I give Ryan
He's a
full right to
conspiracy
retcon
theorist.
everything that I just said because I was just spewing shit trying to make an interesting
You had him
story.
standing on his head for a whole hour.
Maybe I'm just delusional. That's all.
Maybe a blood vessel burst in his brain.
We've all been feeding into the delusions of a crazy
That's how
man.
Agrimar got his
I mean,
power. He's got a brain tumor.
Like he was stroking out there
His
for a
face
second.
is purple.
Agrimar had a stroke and begot superpowers. That's how it happened.
He stood on his head. Now he thinks he's a god.
That's true. All this happened after his control from Nari.
After he went in the flask.
Someone who worships an
Nari, did you
obelisk.
tell him to tell us this insane shit?
She did command him to tell us a story. Man, this campaign is like an onion. It has so many layers.
Yeah, it does.
There was a very large diversity of backgrounds to work with to try and figure out how am I going to get these all together. But it's slowly unfolding.
Like an onion.
Couldn't you have said like a cake? Everybody loves cake.
Now, parfait.
I ain't find nobody that doesn't like parfait.
You ever ask somebody, you want a parfait? They say, oh, hell no, I don't like no parfaits.
Parfait's the shit.
Shark is such a
Parfaits might be
good
the most
movie.
delicious thing on the whole damn planet.
I love that movie.
So, would you guys like to set up watches for the night?
Who has dark vision again?
I have dark vision.
Agrimar and Nari, I believe, had dark vision.
I'll have the first watch.
Rafal will take the last watch.
I will take the watch before Rafal.
I will take the one after Kevin.
And while
Alright.
Agramar's sleeping, dreams of electric sheep.
So, Kevin, as you start your watch, as your compatriots kind of settle into their tents for the evening, you were left relatively alone amidst the campsite with the grasslands swaying and moving, and almost just kind of ever so faintly in the background of your mind, you still hear that harpy's song that just seemed to get to you every time. And you're just kind of left alone with your thoughts out here. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Hey,
Excuse me.
noise.
Wow, Kevin's on
20.
point.
Looking about through the nearby grassy fields, you don't catch sight of any movements like you saw earlier. You feel like you're relatively alone, at least nearby this cluster of trees. At least for now.
Hooray.
As the hours tick by and
Uh,
the evening draws out, is there anything you would like to do?
Yes, walk around the campsite and kind of take a sideways glance at Preston's tent, just to see if there is anything, I don't know, like any traps or alarms that he set up, just to kind of scope out his tent.
So you make your way over to Preston's wagon, and it seems as though he's got the flap, like what looks to be a left and a right flap on the wagon, drawn shut, concealing what might be inside of it. But that's where, effectively, the wagon is what he's been using as a tent this whole time. His wagon, anyways. Some of the other wagons have kind of disassembled a little bit, broken down, unloaded tents and the like, set up camp. But Preston just kind of keeps most of his stuff in his own wagon. And as you make your way over there, go ahead and roll me an investigation check, as well as a stealth check, assuming you're trying to do this sneakily.
17.
Damn. Kevin.
So you start creeping your way around this wagon that Preston's got set up several hours after you saw him retire for the evening, just to be safe. And kind of looking around, there's really not a whole lot set up outside of the wagon. But the reins for his horse are still loosely tied up to one of the nearby trees. And his horse is still reined in place, or attached to the rigging of that wagon. But there's no sounds coming from the inside of it, and no apparent locks or anything.
I don't hear any snoring, any shuffling, nothing.
You don't.
I'm gonna get up closer and see if I can put my ear to the wagon, sort of.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me, I think, a perception check. Or carrying over your 20, rather, since you did
Damn
roll
it.
that. You listen and place your ear beside the cloth of the wagon, and a couple of moments go by. But you don't hear anything from the inside of it. No snoring, no movement, no shuffling, no scribbling of parchment. It's very silent inside.
Do I see any tracks? Like he walked away from the wagon, or is he even in the wagon?
Looking around, like, you saw him go into the wagon. Since you're the first one on watch, you kind of watched everybody go to bed. Among those being Preston, whom you kind of kept a particular eye on. You saw him go into this wagon and retire, and you didn't see him step out. And with your 20 carrying over, looking around and a 17 investigation for tracks, you don't see any sort of footprints leading elsewhere. You think he's probably in the wagon.
I'm just going to take a quick peep.
Sure. As you kind of use the back of your hand, brush aside some of the more thicker leather flaps at the front of this wagon, making use of, you have dark vision, correct?
No.
All right, making use of the dim moonlight that creeps in just a couple of inches, you catch sight of a bare stone floor on the inside of this wagon, and a noticeably cooler shift in temperature flowing from the inside out this opening.
Do I see a lump like someone's sleeping there? Or it's still too dim?
Trying to look further than the immediate opening of this, it's probably going to be too dim, assuming you waited till after he went to sleep. So after the sun set and it's now dark out.
Yeah, I'm going to retreat. I don't know where he is, and I kind of don't want to go into the wagon. Then all of a sudden he's like, "Bah! Here I am!" And I'm like, "Ah!" So I'm going to retreat.
All right. You kind of close the flap and just kind of hide away the image of these stone tiles that were on the floor as you step away from the wagon and back kind of over towards your own group's campsite, back towards that particular cook fire that you guys were using and telling stories around. And just kind of wait out the remainder of your watch unimposed. As you go to wake Naria.
And for once, Nari will watch on her watch. She's going to keep careful watch out for any pink chickens that may be around the camp. And they are close to these trees. She might use that to her advantage and kind of climb up top one to get kind of a better scoping view, if possible.
Sure. Scampering up one of the nearby trees, go ahead and roll me a perception check. At advantage, we'll say.
Oh,
Straight
roll. Okay.
for a 21.
Nice. I'll take it.
You climb up to get a bit of a vantage point with the trees and just kind of look out over the fields, making use of your limited dark vision as well as the light of the moons above. And the starlight just, it's a vast contrast compared to being inside of the city. It's just how much natural light illuminates the darkness that is this natural world out here. Particularly you with your tabaxi eyes feel very well acclimated even in this low light setting. You kind of return to your own natural roots. And in the far distance, you hear a faint roar like a lion somewhere out on these plains. Just echoes out into the night. You don't catch sight of anything else.
This place is going to be really fun to travel through. Okay. This will be exciting. I like it so far. Yeah, I'll kind of stay perched up top there every now and then, glancing at the camp and making sure, nothing is amiss over there. But for most part, just keeping watch. And then when it is time, I will wake up.
One of those times that you look back towards the camp, you catch sight of Professor Barnaby holding what looks to be a large brass hand telescope, just kind of looking up into the night sky on occasion, looking around a bit, and then just scribbling into one of his notebooks.
You can just dangle that in front of me, DM. You know I'm going to take that bait.
Don't talk about dangling around Agramon.
I assumed you would. Oh, God. Shut up, okay?
Okay, if that's the case, I believe he's within range of your spear if you'd like to hit him.
I will scamper down, a little bit through my watch and see what he's doing. Oh, good evening, Professor. I would have assumed you were sleeping right now, but I guess science never sleeps, right?
Hello, Nari. Good to see you on the earlier watches this time around. Yes, I was just cataloging some of these star clusters overhead, trying my best to make a bit of a map of our progress thus far, to keep a trail of what we see as we go.
Oh, I really like your thinking there. That is super smart. I too am kind of like making a map of where we've been and everything along, but not like of the stars and stuff. So that's super cool.
Besides, I'm well aware that we are not going to be the first batch to have left the city of MistHaven on an expedition such as this. And at the very least, I would like those who find our bodies to be well informed of exactly what we were up against. They might pay it on themselves going forward to progress further than us.
Oh, definitely, yeah, like those harpies, trying to make sure that we have safe passage through that way, or even maybe trying to avoid that section of the cliff.
Yes, I've been meaning to speak to you about that. I thought that at the cliff top you had said that it was all right that we could trust the harpies. But when we got down to the bottom, there was already one dead and a number of the others all seemingly running for their lives. What in the world
Yeah.
was going on down there?
Well, it was sort of a super crazy story. But our friend Agrabar, how he can like make food. He promised the harpies to make them food for safe passage. Basically like, hey, we'll feed all of your bellies. You just have to give us safe passage. And they're like, oh my gosh, that is super generous of you. Yes, we will let you safe, passage. You saw that they flew us all down. But I guess about partway down, they decided that they wanted to steal Agramar and his powers along with him. And so we basically had to fight to take Agramar back because they kind of went halfway back on their deal and tried to steal Agramar because of his ability to make food. And they wanted that for themselves. So unfortunately, that agreement went south and we had to take care of that. But unfortunate circumstances. But it does seem that they're willing, well, only that one was really only willing to negotiate because all the other ones we did try and speak to originally and they just wanted to eat us. So I'm not sure the best way to handle that in future endeavors, if we're being honest.
So you're saying we shouldn't have trusted a harpy?
Probably not.
Probably not, no.
Paul says
but
from
it
his sleep.
did-
Don't
it
trust
did
harpies.
get us down to the bottom, so I feel like it kind of worked out. But maybe not for future reference. No, don't trust harpies.
Right then. I'll be sure to make a footnote of it.
Yeah, we should probably find a different way up the mountain instead of going back that same way for sure. Just to avoid the harpy nest.
I didn't mean to disturb your watch. If you were tending to something more important, I can make my way back to my tent.
Oh yeah, no, you do your thing. I will get back to watching. I just had to say hello to you. It's just something I gotta do. So yeah, get back to it, Professor. I look forward to our future talks and have a good night. And be assured that we are watching over you.
There was one more question I had.
Oh, okay. Yes. What is it?
Did you really beat Preston at a game of Dragon?
Well, unfortunately, he left right before I could move the last piece. But technically, yes.
Fascinating.
I am very proud of that too. I was a little upset to find out that he left beforehand. But we had such a great conversation that I feel like it is a win-win, Good times. Have you never won against him in chess?
As far as I know, he's been undefeated.
That is probably why he left, huh? He couldn't ruin his score.
Well, he didn't seem too keen on his report originally about it. He seemed to want to leave that bit out.
Yes, he is a very interesting character for sure. I look forward to getting to speak with him more on this trip. I know we've been a little crowded these last couple days, but that's a Lego in my face. But yeah.
Oh, I haven't forgotten that romance you spoke about before.
So what?
How you told me to put in a good word, you and Preston.
Okay. I told you to put in a good word for me?
You said you were trying to get closer to him or some such.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to talk to him since we were at the Blue Dragon. I don't think I've talked to him really. I mean, I did for a little bit, but not very much. But we still have a long time, so we'll be able to talk more. It'll be good. Yeah, I learned that, he used to be a tinkerer, and he was a clocksmith. He's actually from Aberstein, which is where I'm originally from. So, like super small world, right? But I don't think we never really met them, so obviously.
Curious.
Small world, right? Definitely.
Well, if there can be flamingos in a grassland like this, I see no reason why you two of you couldn't be from the same.
You were able to see one of them? All I heard was that they had pink feathers. I assumed it was a giant pink chicken.
You didn't actually see one of them?
No, I was told to look for pink feathers.
We were told by your friend Agramar to watch out for feathered flamingos.
Well, I wish he would have told me the information he told you. I've been on watch looking for predatorial animals with pink feathers. That would have saved me a lot of heartache over this, huh? Not that
Should I be
chickens are
concerned about these oversized chickens? Pink chickens, you say?
I don't know. I suppose not. We haven't had
I think I'm going to be making my way to my research notes for any such information on such a creature.
Oh, yeah. Let me know what you find about the pink feathered creature. That would be super useful for what I'm trying to find if we come across anything like it in the future. And then, if you even have information, maybe we'll know if it is good or bad, or even if it has any weaknesses. But till then, I'm just looking for pink feathers, and in my mind, it's a big chicken. But I guess Agramar said it's a flamingo, so I guess we really shouldn't have to worry too much. So, who knows? But just be reassured that we are watching, and no matter what, we will make sure you are safe.
Right. So long as we stay in the good favors, like the harpies, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, everyone makes mistakes every now and then, but I feel like, yeah, definitely.
Right. I'll leave you to it then.
Okay, yes, you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you bright and early in the morning, and we'll get to moving again every day closer to the statue. Very exciting stuff.
As you go to wake up Agramar.
Agramar, I know I can't command you to do things anymore, but it's time to wake up.
Thank you, Nari.
Hey, before I go to sleep, did you see flamingos? Because Professor Barnaby said you saw flamingos, and I thought we were looking for giant chickens. So I just want to be on the same page.
Isn't a flamingo just a giant chicken?
They're completely different, Agramar. You can eat chickens. You're not supposed to eat flamingos. It's frowned upon.
I am a blacksmith. I do not work with animals very much. I am sorry. I thought it was a flamingo.
So, but you did actually see it, so we shouldn't really be worried about it coming to eat us later.
No, I didn't see anything. I just went off Rafal's description of a couple of feathers, and so I assumed it was a flamingo.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll make sure to tell Professor Barnaby that it's not a flamingo either until we know for sure. I'll wait till we know for sure what it is before I correct him again. But wait, that was an interesting talk. I figured I'd ask you. But yeah. So okay, well have a good night, and just so you know, you need a really good lookout. Climb the tree. Don't break the tree though, because that would be sad. You're kind of big. Maybe don't climb the tree. But have a good night.
Good night, Nori. Agrimar will get up and kind of just walk around a little bit. And while he's just kind of scoping out the camp, he's going to be kind of setting up some prayers to the three, specifically Nala. He's like, "What? Am I wrong to think that I can change the way that your dominion over this planet is, over this realm? Was I cast out because I wanted more for the people? Why do I feel wrong or conflicted for wanting more for the people? A chance at a second life, a chance to have love again, have the opportunity to make things better." Kind of goes around, kind of thinking that to himself, just kind of saying, just questioning everything Rafal brought up to him, and is he right in thinking the way he is? That's kind of the questions he asks. But he will do his duties and watch over the camp during his watch.
All right, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Certainly. Disadvantage because I'm exhausted. 12.
You're just kind of circling about, taking a narrow berth of the camp.
Yeah.
Keep everything within line of sight. And just making circles as your hour ticks on by. And the temperature begins to drop a little bit lower. And as it does so, this thin mist just begins to lightly grow up from the grass.
Why is it always on my watch?
Ever so faintly.
Mm-hmm.
Just begins to lightly shimmer in the moonlight. But otherwise, nothing seems to happen on your watch. As the night ticks onward. Before you go to wake up for fall, however, sleep does not seem to find Rafal so easily on this night.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
As Rafal, you find yourself, after tossing and turning for a majority of the night, finding yourself in the midst of this dream where you're unable to move because from about the elbows down, your whole body is just being slowly devoured in the maw of this enormous serpent. This snake is slowly just pulling you down into its gullet, and you don't quite have the strength to fight it off because you're a bit too far in, and it's just slowly eating you. As you wake to Agrimar kind of shaking you awake in the tight constrictions of these blankets wrapped around your form, as you just seem to have been turning and twisting and slowly constricting yourself in your own bedding, kind of subconsciously.
Rafal, are you okay?
Ugh, bad dreams. We need to get Nari off of this whole worshipping an aboleth thing. I think it's messing with my head.
Do you think being in proximity to her weapon is causing this?
I don't know. I suppose you would be the expert to ask on these kinds of subjects now.
Don't think that I'm some kind of, all-knowing being. I'm not. I'm just
He's not the DM, Rafal, okay?
I'm just Agrimar. Don't think of me anything different. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You're
But
sweating
I'm a little
a
worried
lot.
about...
You're sweating a lot.
Yes, I'm a little worried about Nari is all.
I am too. I don't quite know how to help her.
I don't know how much she thinks she owes this Kronos and to how much she's willing to pay for that, but I suppose for now we just have to make sure that she's not doing anything to endanger the people of MistHaven.
She put me in a bottle. That's pretty dangerous.
I was not comfortable with that. No.
Neither was I. It was a gray void. It was disgusting.
Saving you was definitely interesting, but the mind control part was definitely there's no telling what other creature she'd be willing to use that bottle on.
Well, I think at the end of the day, Rafal, you and I have to save her from herself, but we have to wait until the opportune moment for that to happen.
Yes, possibly. Who knows? Maybe she will surprise us.
All we can do is provide guidance, right? And support.
Well, you look exhausted. Get some rest, and I'll take watch.
I've had quite a day. And Agrimar will go slip into his tent. Good night, Rafal.
Good night.
Agrimar, as you settle into bed for the evening and sleep comes to you, you find yourself walking in your dream, continuing through these fields of this ever-present grass and continuing for days, for weeks, for months, continuing to flow through the waist-high grass at your sides as you march onwards, continuing before a large shadow falls over you and blocking the sun, this massive stone structure pierces up from the ground and stands large, looming, jagged, spiked, and very foreboding. These dark stone colors, very much out of place in this peaceful, grassy field. As your vision flashes before you, as if you'd just traveled like 1,000 miles in a second, everything whirls past you as your eyes linger upon this golden crown before you. It seems to be glowing and shimmering ever so faintly, just within your reach, seemingly floating on some sort of whitish ivory-like pedestal, hovering just a couple of inches in place.
I look around, or look specifically at the ivory pedestal and see if there's any iconography on it.
Go ahead and roll me religion check.
Certainly. At disadvantage?
Because you're the last watch, I'm going to say no on this one.
Okay.
You get your long rest.
Well, but
What?
Rafal's on watch.
You're on watch, which means he's asleep.
During my
and so-
dream, so
Yeah.
Right,
That's
so
6
he
hours of
hasn't
rest.
taken a rest yet.
So this is the completion of his rest. Okay. At disadvantage.
Okay, disadvantage. Fuck it. Let's go for interesting. Shit. Damn it, Nick. Religion. 14.
As you move your form to kind of inspect and get a better view about the iconography of this stone altar that it sits upon, there's a flash of movement behind you that distracts you. And as you turn around, you catch sight of this large wooden tree-sized club that swings down and smashes you across the face as your vision goes dark. And once again, everything flashes by you in but an instant. And you feel yourself kind of coming to in this wooden cabin. It seemed very much homey in here. There's a warm hearth fire burning in place nearby, and a couple of faces of folks that you don't recognize standing watch over you. One of them kind of patting at your head with a cool, damp towel. The other just kind of offering you words of encouragement, like, it's all right, you're going to be all right. You're going to get through this. You're going to be fine.
How did I get here?
Shh. The doctor said you shouldn't be speaking. You just need your rest. Everything's going to be better. They said just drink your medicine and everything's going to be all right. As the male figure kind of turns around and pours something into a small saucer pan, and he outstretches this towards you. And you see this light blue milky substance flowing on this saucer pan that he kind of stretches out towards you while lying in this bed.
With what strength I have, I bat the saucer away. Tell me what is going on.
You
Why
swing
am I
your
here?
arms as they collide with this saucer pans. The severe rot that has set in across your hands burns as a whole slough of skin just slaps off as you make contact with this saucer pan, revealing just the raw skin, the skinless muscle underneath the palm of your hand, and sending this shearing, wretched pain throughout your body as you fail to shout these words, but just continue to scream. As your vision blurs once again quite rapidly. And before you lies what looks to be a stone anvil of sorts. Large even by your standards, resting in front of you about 10 feet. And this dim light of a faintly glowing maul up on the wall behind it. This orange glow like magma just pulsing within it. And you feel a sense of familiarity with this hammer.
Hagamar tries to force his way towards it.
As you start to force your way towards it, your dream ends. As we cut back to Rafal during the final watch of the night, as Agrimar slumbers away. Is there anything you would like to do in the early hours just before dawn?
I mean, he's just keeping watch, making sure that there's no pink feathered things sneaking up to eat little people, you know, making sure there's no Kevin's walking off, you know, to unexplained music, you know,
Go ahead
making
and roll
sure
me a
there's
perception
no
check.
no Agrimar, you know, having any divine problems? You know, just the normal worrying you do first thing in the morning.
I'm worried about
But he's at
everyone.
least not exhausted anymore, so he feels great.
Everyone's
Yes.
got delusions of grandeur.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check without disadvantage.
Yeah, finally.
It's been so long.
I feel better.
Oh man, what the shit?
You know,
was
but I
that?
still need
Rafal's really
Creep
worried.
on, and this mist thickens a little bit over the nearby fields. Over the next couple of hours, as the sun begins to peak its light over the horizon, this mist just starts to slowly evaporate, solidifying every here and there as dew drops upon the grass. This faint, almost pinkish dew-like residue coating the grass, leaving it behind. As the light of the sun begins to creep into the sky, illuminating the fields around you, nothing seems to disturb your vision in the early hours of the morning. As people begin to rouse themselves for the morning, a couple of campfires start to be struck up to break the morning's feasts, as what sounds like a very panicked shout, followed by a scream that is silenced and cut short from relatively nearby.
Yeah, Rafal's
Catches
gonna
your
go
attention.
investigate that.
Shit.
Ooh.
Do we stir from
Rafal
our
goes and
sleeps?
investigates the scream.
Nari bolts her eyes awake as her weapon of warning takes effect.
Oh shit.
Agramar and Kevin, go ahead and roll me perception checks at disadvantage because you are unconscious.
The curse continues. Ooh.
Oh,
15.
you
11.
complete a long rest, right?
But yes, everyone completes a long rest, regaining expended spell slots, abilities, regaining spent hit dice up to half your level's worth, and as well as losing that point of exhaustion.
15 for Agmar.
Agramar, you hear this scream and it stirs you awake as you are reaching for this maul on the wall. This scream draws your attention. This time, as you turn your head, your eyes blink open and you find yourself in your double wide.
I reach for Farror's innocence, grab it, and just get up and just see what's going on, knocking my tent over.
As Agramar and Nari make their way out from their tents, they catch sight of Rafal, who's beelining it towards this scream. Rafal, as you make your way over, you can see what looks to be one of the horse hands by the name of Ernest is lying on the ground in a very kind of twisted, contorted position. His face very much frozen with his jaw open in a scream. But he is not moving. And he seems very stiff and
He's
unmoving.
right?
Rafal's gonna go rush over to his side and see if he's alive.
Go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
Hey, we're rolling consistent in here.
8s across the board.
As you reach down to test for like a pulse, his skin is very cold to the touch, like stone.
Rafal's gonna try giving him 5 points from his lay on hands, see if he can't revive him.
As you send this 5 points into his form, it flows into him, and you feel this connection with his life force. But he does not begin to stir. He remains apparently petrified in place.
Oh. Yeah, can't do shit about that. Agrimar is going to be again running in that direction.
Yeah, I would say Nari in her quick
Agrimar and Nari catch up.
She probably trips over Kevin and
Kevin's Nari, if you're purposely sprinting through Kevin's camp, you could do so.
Oh, I assumed that we were like sleeping close enough together, but
I think you two are sharing a tent, right?
slightly purposefully like, Kevin, wake up, and not realize she's like stepping on top of Kevin, but like running towards the sound.
Nari's still half asleep herself.
Legs are moving before my brain is. Like...
All right, so by doing so, Agrimar will make it to the scene before the two of you. But you can't keep Kevin awake.
Why does
Rafal,
everyone keep
are there
stepping
any
on
of the
me?
horses missing or spooked, or is there any blood, or is there any tracks or anything like that that Rafal could find?
You catch a couple of slashes kind of near his ankles, about his shins. But otherwise, no lethal looking wounds. A couple of light scratches, but nothing more. The horses still seem to be nearby. They seem to be spooked a little by the scream, but they were kind of quickly calmed by some of the other members of the camp, and none of them ran off.
I run up to Ernest and I'll do a medicine check of my own. See what I can figure out.
Rafal will tell you he seems to be. Oh, where's my voice? He seems to be petrified or frozen of some kind. He doesn't seem to be dead.
Okay. Not much better. That's a 12.
There's some sort of magical petrification effect going on this guy.
If it's Arcana, it's a little bit better, but
Wait, did you say magical petrification?
That's what Nari hears as she and Kevin kind of catch up.
as I feel that it's
Okay,
magical.
whoa.
Nari, are you gonna do something?
Yeah, I get to fix this. She's gonna like take a second to think, and then she's going to cast Dispel Magic on him.
All right. Nari, what's it look like as you cast Dispel Magic?
An obelisk comes out, sucks out the magic.
She's going to be speaking, and as she speaks, it almost looks like wisps of light coming off of her lips as they go towards, and it's going to be like greenish light as they kind of enter around the petrified guy, and they enter in the magical area, protected area, and absorb into it as it deteriorates. And if it's not magical, it just whiffs away into the air like it never existed.
And as these wisps of this kind of greenish energy close around Ernest, they seem to kind of constrict and pull on bits and pieces of this arcane energy that is just above the surface of his skin. As they begin to break and pull away these bits and pieces, Ernest begins to stir awake in place, and his scream finishes with it. Ah! As he starts to shake awake, just scrambling up to his feet and frantically looking all around him, kind of his eyes looking downwards towards his feet as he's just circling around again and again.
What, Everest? What is it?
The chickens you were talking about!
Were they? Were they
Chickens?
actually chickens?
I don't know what they were. They had feathers and scales and wings and leathered skin. I don't know what the hell they were.
Did it lay an egg?
Now's not the time,
Feathers
Kevin. We're under
and
attack.
Scales and wings.
Feathers and scales and wings like a bat.
A check,
How fast
right?
did it move?
You guys can roll another nature check with this
Yeah,
new information.
As he says that, can I do a perception check to see if I can see or hear it
See if I
around
can
us?
identify
Sure,
this.
go ahead.
We're on point, Kevin. We're not bullying people.
Yeah. Oh my god, I rolled a 10 as well.
Hey!
What is this foul creature?
Without disadvantage.
If we roll a fourth 10, do we get something?
Come on, Nick. Give us a 10.
Come on, Rafal, lucky 10, lucky 10.
Ah!
As you guys are trying to figure out what the hell kind of a thing this guy might be talking about, piecing together all these random animal bits of information, Rafal, you catch sight of one of these things just
Fuck is
looming
that?
in the nearby grass.
But well, Nick knows what
Long
that is.
stretched neck.
Ew.
It's a
Just
cockatrice.
Yes, sir.
Oh, fucking cockatrice.
As it seems to be watching, just kind of leering anxiously. Its eyes wide with panic. It's about 30 feet away.
My picture is loading so
Rafal's-
slow, I can't handle it.
Now you're
Rafal's
still trying to figure out what it is.
with like just seeing it, Rafal's is gonna go run and try to like tackle it.
All right. Go ahead and roll an athletics.
Oh my god, it totally looks like a really big chicken.
It's a demon chicken. Oh, Rafal!
Rafal, you sprint forward and tackle this thing to the ground. As it just begins flailing and squawking and screeching and letting out these horrendous sounds from its beaked mouth. Flailing and fighting, it's going to try and just peck back at you. He
Oh,
rolls a
God.
natural 20.
Oh my god.
As he's wildly lashing about, his beak flailing madly at the end of his long, very agile neck. It managed to slash you across the side, dealing 5 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh. Shit.
23.
Oh,
As you continue to hold this thing in your grasp
Well,
as it's
it just seems to be an animal, basically, right?
very much so.
Yeah, Rafal's gonna just take out his sword, flame on, and cut its throat.
Barbecue some
Alright.
chicken.
You don't even need to make a roll for this one. You got it grappled. You can just coup de grace it.
He just
It's-
cuts this thing's head off, like, and and then as it stops struggling, he's just gonna stand up and like brush like the dust and dirt and blood off of himself. All right, everything's fine.
Are there more, Rafal?
Do they move in
Probably
herds?
we should get moving.
Agamar
Big
will.
old chickens could petrify people.
It's not a
Agamar.
chicken. He like kicks this massive bird that he just tackled.
Agamar will grip his mace more tightly to amplify his voice, and he'll boom, "Everyone wake up! We're under attack."
That's not exactly true.
Well, we gotta get moving anyway, right, Rafal?
Yeah, that's not the way to do it. That's gonna cause a panic.
Panic anyway.
It's going to get out of the hand really quickly.
Get up, move your asses!
The camp begins to stir very much frantically as tents that were still drawn shut are now flying open. People are in all sorts of mixed manner of dress as half-naked people begin stumbling out from tents and just frantically looking about with crossbows aimed in every which direction, a couple of short swords drawn.
Rafal just like looks at Agramar, blink, 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 blink.
Agamar whispers to Rafal, "Played up as a drill. They weren't even aware that our friend was screaming bloody murder."
This is on you. You're the one that made the announcement.
Alright, I'll do it. Did you not hear your friend crying for help in your sleep? What are you all doing here? Be aware. There are dangers out there.
Anyways, all right. We have encountered some hostile
Native
local
animals.
Devil
fauna,
chickens?
and we're going to need to get packed up and get moving quickly. We don't know how many other beasts are out there.
But good news, we're having chicken for breakfast.
It's not a chicken.
Chicken and waffles, it sounds fantastic.
Maybe one of you can identify what it is. And he like throws the head like on the ground.
Professor
at the
B.
wizard's feet. He's like, you're all smart. Maybe you know what this is.
We don't have smart people in our party. Please look at this.
It doesn't look like a flamingo.
I'm smart sometimes.
It looks like a devil
Aw.
flamingo to me. Look at the beak.
I think what you're dealing with there is a cockatrice.
What's a cockatrice?
It's that.
The devil
The
chicken.
slightest scrape from its beak can cause people to become petrified.
So don't get scratched by its beak. Very valuable lesson.
So if you're going to continue kicking this thing around, I suggest you be very careful.
Can it do it even after death?
Do you want to find out?
Well, I'm just curious if I were to harvest its beak and then like attach it to a weapon, if I could weaponize its beak even after it's dead.
Don't let me stop you from doing whatever it is your heart desires, then, Nari. But if that is what you wish,
I don't think I'm
I
just curious.
believe the potency of its beak will remain.
It's like a snake. It likes to bite after death.
It might fade over time, I'll give you that, but perhaps for a couple of more bites, scratches.
Well, do you know if they run solitary or do they run in packs?
They always run in a flock.
Well, then this was the only one that we found, so there's more of them, so we need to be on our guards. They're apparently not scared enough that they won't come into camp. They attacked poor Ernest here. How you feeling, Ernest?
I was just going to make a piss. Fuck.
All right, then
Cool.
nobody is taking a piss by themselves.
We are enforcing what is called the buddy
Buddy.
system.
Yeah.
I like to call it the
Buddy.
Kevin
Further
system.
instructions.
Make sure that you're checking where you were looking for one of these. And he holds up like the head.
That's not a chicken.
No, that's
It's
what
a
you call it,
demon.
doctor.
A cockatrice.
Cockatrice. They're very dangerous, so be on the lookout. If you see anything, say something.
All right. Well, then,
All right, now that we
let's-
got that out of the way, let's get packed up and moving, Professor?
Precisely.
And this concludes our
Perhaps
test
we
of the
should
emergency
make haste.
broadcast system.
As the campsite just begins to kind of, with those who had breakfast, kind of sated for the morning, everyone else kind of grumbling about how we're having to pack up early. But the campsite does get packed up with relative haste now that everybody's kind of awake. Nobody's really groggy after that. And one by one, the wagons get loaded back up. The cargo goes back into place. Horses are hitched up. And the caravan is ready to move once again. As it starts proceeding through these grasslands, you guys have at least a few days of travel ahead of you. If there's anything you would like to do during this travel time.
Make sure that there are no other people randomly getting attacked by cockatrice.
All right, roll me a perception check.
I don't want to.
I close my eyes.
Oh my
Fine.
god.
Oh.
Oh,
Looks like
I think we
Rafal
need to
didn't
end
want
it.
to
We're gonna
either.
die.
As you're keeping your eyes down low, kind of about the more immediate grassy areas, just in case. Slumthant jumps out last second. You don't catch any immediate flurry of feathers as the caravan sets out and continues.
On one of the nights around the campfire, Agrimar will bring up his dream and recount it to the party and ask if they have maybe heard of something at some point of any of these significant events, specifically the crown and rotting flesh and that kind of thing.
I could definitely do a check on that because I read all sorts of history things about random types of things.
You're into dark magic. Tell me what you know.
Yeah, right? Like I know crowns, I know stuff like that, jujus. What do I have to roll? History?
Well, which one are you trying to know about?
And a huge anvil with a
I
giant
would
one?
probably go
hammer.
for the anvil or the crown, which I'm kind of curious, honestly, Lucas, how you would tell us the story of your dream. A, because it was cutting out partially. B, because I'd like to hear it in Agrimar's terms to know how to further.
Since it
help
was a
you.
dream, I will read you my diary that I wrote. Agrimar walks through fields for months. A large shadow blocks the sun. Stone spiky structure rises to block it. A golden crown within reach, floating on an ivory pedestal. I turn. A large wooden club, the size of a tree, bashes me over the head, knocks me out. I wake up in a cabin with people all around me treating my wounds. I knock out this bowl of medicine that they attempt to feed me because I assume they're the reason that I'm ill. I look at my hand and the flesh falls from it. My skin is rotting. I pass out again. I awake and there's a large stone anvil, huge, even larger than Agrimar. I look to the side and there's a dim glow on a hammer on the wall. As I walk towards it, I awoke to the sound of a puny man screaming because he got attacked by a cockatrice. What do you make of that?
I would do a history check on the golden crown and an ivory pedestal, because that one sounds like the most artifacty thing, but I would also probably know maybe about the anvil, if there's such a huge anvil, like if I would know maybe where such an anvil would be held.
Like a
Keep
dwarf
track of
probably
all
wouldn't be
anvils
second.
in the world.
Well, no, just if there's mention of like, would it be like from the giants? Do giants have like larger than life anvils? Like, you know, more not so much of that specific anvil, but of like maybe people who have really big anvils type society thing. But yeah, mostly the golden crown ivory pedestal.
That sounds like something a cat would go after. Ooh, shiny.
All right, go ahead and roll a history check.
23.
Most of this doesn't seem to resonate with you. However, when he talks about this crown on this white pedestal of sorts, something begins to flutter in the back of your mind, and you're trying to recall these drawn up stories from, you don't even know when you might have heard them, but about one of, I believe it was the third or fourth ruling king over the continent of, or over the colonial remains of MistHaven, who tried to make up sort of communications with nearby kingdoms in the area. he set out with some of his closest compatriots on a sort of roundabout mission to try and get to know the nearby nations, what was going on nearby and more locally, in hopes of befriending some of the native populace and opening trade networks and the like. No longer having the Empire of Averston at their backs, they were looking for other points where they might be able to gather such resources for the betterment of their own city. But that king was never known to have made his way back from his venture. And everyone knows kings wear crowns. But your studies kind of, while doing your master's thesis way back, you kind of put the pieces together for sort of like the route he might have taken or that you might have taken if you were in his shoes. And it always kind of led you back around these grassy plains areas because you think these sort of individuals might have been able to handle themselves against many of the other local threats that you've come to understand. But there's something about giants that you can just never quite underestimate. And when Agramar mentions that giant club that swung at him towards the end, at the very least, that rung a bell in your head.
So, you're saying the king went on ventures, and I assume that his last venture was here in the grasslands?
It could have been.
And is from my possible idea of it. And then here in the grasslands, I've heard rumors of giants living because who wouldn't want to live in a really
Some of
big
the other
area?
wizards already told you that there are believed to be giants in these wildlands. And you guys opted for the giants rather than the mountains or the forest.
Oh, shit.
So, do you know why the giants would be trying to contact you about perhaps a lost king, Agrimar, Mr. God over there that I don't completely understand the story to yet, but I'll figure it out next time?
Well, giants are very powerful creatures. I presume that they once ruled the lands, and the small folk routed them out. And this king was captured by the giants, maybe. And they're now holding an artifact within their possession.
Are giants known? It would sound to me like maybe they were trying to help you in your dream by giving you medicine for your rotting flesh.
No, those
Would I
were
know?
humans. Those weren't giants. I think a
Oh.
giant hit me because I was getting close to something that they treasured.
So the giants hit you, and then the people were trying to get you help.
I believe so, and I refused their help. Maybe there's a settlement somewhere on this lower plane that has humans that are fighting against giants.
It's hard to say because, up on top of the cliff, you don't really hear much of the lore of down here, right? I mean, but I've been around places. So, like, rotting flesh, though, that seems... Is that normal for giants to have that ability to make people's flesh rot? Is that like a giant thing? Because we met that one up on the cliff, and she didn't seem like she would make our flesh rot. She just really liked camels.
Oh, that's right, my sweetheart that I don't remember. I don't believe that's a trait that most giants have, unless there was one that was imbued with dark magics. But Agrimar kind of pauses for a moment. Does he think that rotting could be poison?
It seemed I guess go ahead and roll
Or-
me a medicine check.
Or
Yeah, I was
would it be
gonna
like
ask if I
necrotic
would've-
magic?
Known if it would have been like,
16.
I guess I wasn't there to see it. But you have to face
It
me.
seemed a little less arcane, more natural.
It was not. It didn't feel like magic. It felt more like a natural occurrence, maybe a poison or a venom of some sort, necrosis brought upon by natural
Okay,
means.
I could see that. There's many types of creatures that has that kind of venom that can literally eat your flesh away.
I look at Nari, and then my eyes dart to her spear.
Hey, I wouldn't stab you in the arm. If I was going to stab you, I'd stab you where it counts, okay? Jeez. Really bad idea.
Yeah, don't you feel better now?
Just saying, you have a wicked poison about your person. I'm not saying that you did it. I'm just saying that that's something I've seen you use before.
That is how I know about it. See? I am helpful. But it does make me wonder what kind of poison it could be from. I mean, do you think, like you said, maybe an animal bite, or perhaps some sort of tree with evil thorns that accidentally scratched you while you were walking by it? Ooh, the possibilities.
I do know that there are some animals that, when they bite you, it causes necrosis and makes your flesh fall from makes your muscles deteriorate and fall off. But
And then was there some sort of warning to stay away from the crown if we find it here? Or is it like why would that come to you in a dream? Like warning you if you get close you will die, but then you'll be okay because people will find you? It's a very strange dream. Or maybe it was just a weird dream. Maybe you're just a weird.
There's a lot of things that could be extrapolated from that. I mean, it could be that through the fields in which we are walking will result in a dark presence, perhaps, an evil being, that will eventually lead us to an artifact that is being guarded by giants, and that the small folk are willing to aid us in that journey. And that maybe they have a forge. I don't understand all of it, but I mean, it
Why would
could be
the
connected.
people be at the giant's forge?
It was 4 different segments of the dream. I'm just connecting them together. I don't think they were. I think it was a structure in the fields that has a correlation to Rafal, or a king that once ruled many lands and was attempting to reach out to other kings in order to broker peace. And I think the giants got the better of this king, captured him many millennia ago, and now hold his crown, which might have magical significance, I don't know. And that there is a group of people that are suffering from these giants that are willing to help those who are maybe want to overthrow these giants. And as far as the anvil, that could have something to do with my powers of creation. I don't have an answer for that one. I have flashbacks to a dwarf who dreamed of an anvil, who sacrificed his life, and I don't like it very much.
I don't like those dreams.
I don't like those dreams at all. But I have a feeling we're going to encounter giants in these fields at some point, so we might want to be prepared for a tough fight.
Well, maybe we don't have to fight them. Maybe we can negotiate. You are part giant. I mean, you're basically their kin, and we got along great with Crew up there. So
Yes, I got along great with her because my player was not speaking.
Brittany,
I have a feeling we might want to let you do the speaking to these giants, and I will chime in as necessary. And
Crew did
Not
not
that
really
much.
like me too much. I tried really hard, but she kind of liked you more.
I will work on my conversation skills with giants.
Yeah, that'd be good. Because, I mean, I'm not saying I'm bad at talking, but based on previous experience, she did not like me too much. I think I talked too much. I don't know. But I would much rather try and negotiate because, as Professor Barnaby said earlier, we do plan on coming through here as other people. So it's like, I feel like it's probably better to make friends more than enemies along our pathway for future research purposes.
Agreed. And I think if we do discover giants and they are holding something valuable, that we will have to all be on our sharpest eyes and ears to discover and use tact in order to find what they are looking for and how best to integrate them into civilized society. As if they are tribal in nature, it might be difficult to dissuade them from their primal tendencies.
See, something I will have to think about. Perhaps Professor Barnaby might have a book on giants, since they did think giants may live in these lands. Maybe they are prepared with some research. I could perhaps do some more research on them to perhaps see. Oh, quick idea popped into my brain. DM, I was told that the giants used to worship a serpent kind.
Oh,
Would
God.
I know if those were the giants from here, or were they the giants elsewhere?
Those sounded more like frost giants.
So north.
North
The frost
giants.
giants are the ones that worshipped Kronos, the more Viking-like ones.
Yeah, Viking ones. So probably not grasslandy ones who aren't really close to the water.
Unless they traveled here and then the seas dried up. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible.
But
I
just
have no idea how far
keeping
the giants reach might
that.
go.
No, we don't. We have. This is the first clue. Of fucking shit.
Keeping that in mind, just in case. I mean, this could be another connection where Kronos might help us.
Or doom us all to a rule of evil creatures.
Okay, you guys really speak super bad of him, and all he's done is help us.
Isn't that what he wants you to think, Nori?
I think how I want, and I think by how people act and not what other people say about them. So here we are. But I think honestly, you guys are being way too harsh on him just because you guys have this idea of what an apple this should be. But he didn't eat me, so here we
That's a very low bar, though.
Let me ask you, Nari, have you ever had a dream of this great serpent swallowing you?
swallowing me. No,
Devouring you?
no. The only dreams I've had was me being in a vast, dark water and trying to find the green light and heading towards the green light, never being really quite able to reach it. Which is why when we saw that crawdad man with the green light, I got super excited because I was like, this is the green light I've been searching for. And then we went into the watery void. And thank you, buddy. I needed the door closed. And so, no, never eating me. Always just there trying to help. And, there's like, there was that time that I couldn't breathe under the water, but I mean, who can really breathe underwater? I feel like that was more of a warning. Like, we have a little bit of a dramatic sound in the background, so I apologize. Nope, don't click on this. But yeah, no, never trying to eat me. Why? Have you had dreams of being eaten by a Kuromo?
Yes. Last night I had a dream about being devoured by a great serpent. It was not a pleasant dream.
Well, you guys already met Kronos. He's not actually a serpent. He may be called the swallowing serpent by people, but he's not actually a snake. Maybe that means we're going to encounter like one of those really big boa constrictors that eat people. That's more common.
Or he could have the power to change the way he looks.
He did, actually, because he showed an image that wasn't an aboleth when we were down in the water.
Well, that wasn't really changing who he was. That was more of like a alternate, like a fake image. It didn't change.
That proves our
I
point,
don't think
Nari.
that I have the gift of prophecy the way that Agrimar does. But so I don't believe you. I think it's most probably because of my meeting of this creature that these dreams are occurring more than anything.
Have you had anything like these dreams, or
No.
is this the first time?
Definitely the first.
Huh.
I mean, it has been several nights, though, and the fact that Agramar had a weird dream here and you had a weird dream here, I feel like it's not so much Kronos as much as, like, maybe it's this grassland area. Maybe there's, like, air in the mist and it's, like, drugs you up or something.
Did you have any weird dreams?
I didn't have any weird dreams. I mean, I dreamt like I was like flying and chasing some coins and stuff, but nothing out of the normal.
So normal, okay.
So normal.
Yeah.
Alright, is the camp packed up yet? We should be moving.
As you guys are continuing along through these grasslands, on the fourth day of travel, you guys are continuing over the cresting hills again and again, and the yellowy grasses turn to brown, turns to a lighter green, turns to a darker, more healthy color of green, as the overall color of this wild land continues to shift with the landscape. The rocks are still ever much present, kind of just loosely throughout. The brush and trees grow a little more vibrant in the greener areas. Did you have a question, Rachel?
Yeah, no, never mind.
Sure thing. And as you guys are continuing, on the fourth day, the caravan is traveling and you crest this next hill, and down below, kind of in a valley, you catch sight of about kind of loosely scattered 20 to 30 creatures down below. All manner of very large reptilian looking beasts. Will look to be just kind of a pack of dinosaurs wandering down below. A couple of triceratops, a couple of ankylosaurs, a couple of long necks, just kind of loosely grazing within these grasslands. I think that's where we'll pick up next time.
That crazy
Welcome
son of a
to
bitch.
Jurassic Park.
actually did it.
Oh
He
my
actually
god.
did it.
Oh, that was a session and a half. Ugh. Well, that went to hell in a hat basket real quick. Oh man.
How do I boost my saving throws? Do I just have to boost my...
Be
Like,
close
would-
to Nick at all times.
That too.
I could not roll above a 14 to save my life.
None of us could roll anything tonight.
No, we were shit all night.
So garbage rolls all night. Even on my part, it was like a 1 and a 2 to hit. Nope. A 1 and a 2 to hit. Nope.
It was a good RP session. A good RP session with no rolling involved. So-
Can anybody identify this chicken thing? Nope, nope, nope,
Nope.
nope, nope, nope. Okay. Oh, okay. It's a chicken thing then.
So Nick, I didn't ask you at the beginning. How did you guys have a session yesterday?
Yeah, we did.
How was it?
Our session was fucking crazy, man. Like, there was so much combat and other stuff happening.
Nice.
It was nuts. I had them do like a Legend of Zelda kind of puzzle. That was a lot of
Ooh.
fun. Like,
That was fun.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, we got shit done. They hit level 10. That's nuts.
Ooh.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da.
Finished off the Yanti Empire place.
Yeah, you definitely finished off that city. That's for sure.
Did you kill them all?
I close. I legit. I wanted to see if I could do what the DMG says, like, because you know how it says you're supposed to have 6 to 8 encounters during a day. And I wanted to test that theory, and so I made it so there were 6 encounters, and yeah, they got through them all, but they have 0 resources left. They were super low on life. They were chugging like health potions on bonus actions, like.
It was like
Oh, you did-
D&D hard mode. It was so
you did
fun.
6 to 8 combat encounters?
There were 5
There were
combat
also
encounters.
puzzles.
There were 5 combat encounters, a couple of puzzles in there. Yeah.
Whoa, my kid. That's rough, dude.
It was fun.
Yeah, and I didn't hold back either. Like, the creature that they fought at the very end was a CR-12 with 2
Ooh.
CR-4s and 4 CR-2s.
Oh,
So,
that's rough.
Oh yeah, Ryan almost died.
Oh yeah.
I crit Ryan like 3 times.
With one of those like psychic mind whisperers.
Oh,
Where
shit.
it's like 6 piercing, okay, no problem. Like 5 poison, okay, no problem. 72 psychic. What?
No, 72 was
It was-
Christina's sneak attack crit.
Oh,
That
was-
was fucking bonkers. So I gave her. She has the oath bow,
Oh, yeah.
and she's a rogue, and so she crit on her sneak attack. So she rolled 18d6,
Oh, my God.
and she did 77 points of damage.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, it was an insane crit.
Wow.
But yeah, they found all the ingredients they needed to get Christina's character's memories back, and they rescued the Coatl's eggs from the Yuan Ti. They think.
We
Maybe.
just saved all the Yanti eggs. We freed you
Quanties.
from your parent oppressors.
Crossbreed. Quanties. Flying
Now have an
Yankees.
army of snakes.
I mean, that was the idea, is that they wanted to create flying abominations. It's gonna be cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool session.
It
But
was.
hey, guys, who's gonna be captain of our pirate ship?
Ugh.
So,
Yes. We need a pirate for the
wants to
new
be
mystery
captain? Let's throw
machine.
that out there right now.
I mean,
Who wants it?
Ascari voted for herself, Like, because I feel like that's something she would do.
She is the ship's counselor.
She would be. She feels like she would be the most competent of the captains.
Well, you've seen what happens when Erling makes the choices.
He crits his teammates.
Well,
Crits his teammates, turns into a Wendigo.
all in one.
I'm more of
It's-
like a right-hand guy.
Penala still voted for Erling.
Yeah.
So who did Erling and Rookie vote for?
Not that lizard guy.
What? You don't like the lizard guy being captain?
No, he's already got too many votes.
I've already got names for them. They're so cool.
I guess it'd have to be a Scary just because Erling has that cursed doll, and I just can't see myself trusting someone with a cursed doll with all their leads. But if Ascari makes us do too many things on point, doesn't allow us to do off-topic things, she might have to throw a mutiny out there.
Mutiny! We need mutiny on a pirate game. Come on.
I
I'm
mean,
all in favor.
But I want to go run into that village, and she's like, but why? And it's like, I don't know. What's the point? I don't know. We're not doing it. But it sounds fun.
But we're trying to be pirates. So it sounds like Ascari's gonna be captain.
I mean, that is, as far as like image goes, Iskari is the scariest looking of all of us. That's
Top
not a
hat
Wendigo.
with a
Yeah.
horn, giant sword.
She does have the captain's hat.
She does
The top hat is the captain's hat.
Yes.
is it like a talking stick where we passed around and the who holds the hat is the captain?
The snail phone. Whoever has the snail phone is the captain. I have the
Iscari
conch.
has the conch.
Okay. Well, then we have all those other roles that we need to fill, so everyone can have like
I'm going to
special
stick to the
abilities from
inventory
their
because
role.
I've got a notebook going with the bag of holding loot in it. And I'm having a lot of fun with that for some reason.
So, you're going to be the hordes person. Yeah, so I really enjoy the like the little company positions that they did for this handbook.
I mean, I read through all of them. They seem interesting, and we could definitely adapt them for piratey things.
Oh, for sure. Like, I like the idea to alleviate our travel problems. Say our wonderful Rookie, if she was the cartographer, all she has to do is come up with a story about how you guys get to an island and maybe things that happen in between. If she's been at that island, you just get there.
I am really good at making up stories.
But they have to be true
Is
stories.
Rookie a navigator? Is she a map maker?
I don't remember. I think.
You have Navigator as your background, right?
Yeah, I think I put that. I think it. I don't want to say yes for sure, but I thought so. Yes.
I'm gonna
I
check.
think that's why I made myself the navigator technically in the role last time, was because I could do the map. I could read maps and stuff. But I know for sure Nari is good with maps, so I don't know if I'm getting them mixed up. So I'm like, I don't know for sure. I just exited out of my Google, so I don't know how long it'll take for me to put that back up.
What about Penala? What kind of position do we want Penala to have?
God, I don't know. I don't think it should be a decisionist. Yeah,
Rookie
entertain.
has Navigator's
Entertainment
tools
division.
as one of her abilities.
There was one on there. There was one on that list that I was like, oh, that screams Penala to me. I don't remember what it was though.
Loremonger?
That was it.
Loremonger. Never
Help
forget a
me, Lord.
detail, though many wish I would.
I was like, yeah, she would tell all the stories and stuff like that.
Additional proficiencies. And then start 1, you get or rank 1, you get a whisper jar, common magic item, so you can collect whispers, so you can record things. That's pretty cool. I wonder what Ben would be.
There was one that I thought was like pretty close to like, being the cook or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Actually, I think the loremonger
There's
I like
is the monster the one that like knows all about all the monsters and stuff.
So, all right. So, tell me if this is Rachel's character, the obviator. As an obviator, you hatch convoluted plots to fight the overwhelming odds presented by each mission by whatever means necessary. Sometimes you might prefer brute force and improvisation. Other times you might undertake a deep study of conflicts and rival organizations, working carefully to stay 3 steps ahead of the opposition. In all cases, though, you help advance your franchise by hatching effective plans and tactics, anticipating problems, and learning about your foes, ideally before they can treat you as an obstacle to their own success. Hatching convoluted plots sounds like... Yes. Oh, yeah. Proficiency for having that position. The head office grants you the use of alchemist supplies, where you can create vial of acid, flask of alchemist fire, or antitoxin, and a hunting trap.
For the obviator?
Yeah. The ability to make alchemist fire. That sounds like you.
Yeah.
The occultant tracks creatures and foes that has bested or killed people in the franchise. Yeah, so I think this would be fun. Add a little flavor, allow you guys to just kind of roll with your characters a little bit more. Well, I'm going to go ahead and head off here then.
Wait, can I change a little bit of Panala's background? The core of it will remain the same. I just want to make more, kind of little bit of, make little edits and to make the loot a little bit more important. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead and send it to me.
All right. Hey, I'll send it to you hopefully by the end of the...
You better.
If that's okay.
Otherwise,
no.
I will destroy that loot.
Oh, no!
No, it's fine.
Okay.